For 45 years, the United Kennel Club has taken pride in naming a world champion coonhound, and this year is no different. 108 hounds have qualified to be here. 27 will move on from round number 1, and we will meet these teams tonight as they come in from the hunt and prepare for round 2 on Friday night. What are the challenges? Who will advance? Whose dog is ready? We will see it all here tonight in our Midnight Mayhem, part of this year's United Kennel Club 2023 World Coonhound Championship. Hey guys, we want to welcome you tonight to the 2023 United Kennel Club World Coonhound Championship. I'm Jamie Estep. I'll be your host tonight. We're here in Mount Gilead, Ohio, and I am joined with Steve Burkholder. Tonight, during our Midnight Mayhem, we're going to get to meet the 27 hounds, the 27 handlers. We're going to get to hear about the night. We're going to meet them as they come in from the cast winners from round 1. We're going to have a lot of fun with that tonight. We also have with us our fan favorite to talk to the cast-winning hounds and handlers, and we're going to take a in-depth look at those cast winners. Our fan favorite tonight is Rick Stretch, and we're going to walk through those scorecards. We're going to talk hounds, we're going to talk coon hunting, and we're just going to have a great night. Steve, I want to say it's good to have you tonight with us, and so just what do you think about tonight, Mr. Steve?
Well, I tell you, Jamie, it's really exciting to be here. You know, this time of the year can't roll around here quick enough. Really excited to be able to crown a world champion at the end of this weekend. When the dust settles, we're going to crown a world champion, and that's exciting. But what's really exciting is tonight we're going to be doing the Midnight Mayhem, and you know, judging from previous years, I think tonight is going to be just as exciting as it's been in previous years. Yeah. So very excited. And
probably one of the coolest things that we get to do tonight would be, in my opinion, is we get to meet the cast winners. We get to hear the excitement in the voice. We get to see the dogs. We get to just kind of go on a journey with them. And the man that's going to be doing that tonight is our fan favorite, and that's none other than Mr. Rick Stretch. So, Mr. Rick, tell us about what's going on with you tonight.
Well, I'll tell you what, I am happy to be here. This is the place to be this weekend. If you have any interest in coon hunting, right here is where it's going to be at. And yeah, you guys are right. We got 27 casts out there. We started with 108 entrants tonight, and they're out there competing right now in 4-dog cast. We're going to talk to the winners of each one of those casts as they come in, and we're going to see firsthand how excited they are to win and what they think their chances are to win the whole thing.
Yeah, now Rick, you said that we're going to have 27 cast winners out there tonight. We started with 108, so I want you to take us on a little bit in-depth more look on moving from the 108 down to the 27. So can you tell us a little bit about what's going on out there tonight and how we're going to get to here?
Yeah, sure, Jamie. This started back in January. From January through the month of August, there are regional qualifying events around the nation. Actually, I think I was told there was 175 of them this year, 3,600 entrants in those 175 events, and 830 dogs qualified to advance to the zones. We had 7 zones across the country. 550 of those 830 entered the zones, and that got us to 108 dogs that could compete here at Mount Gilead, Ohio, through a prorated system in each zone.
Yeah. This is the first year that the World Hunt has been run with the total elimination format. So what that means, we're never going to have, well, we could have, but we're going to see cast winners coming in. I'm going to ask you a question here, and it's just a question that always makes me think. but what does it actually mean to win a World Hunt? What are these guys feeling as they move through this? What's the anticipation? What's the butterflies? Rick, you probably know this firsthand more than anybody, and you've kind of reminded us already that if there's anybody here that understands this is you, because you did win a World Hunt. So tell us what they're feeling. What did you feel?
I'll tell you what, your nerves are out there. You're feeling nervous. It's for me, the year that I won, it's always after I hear the first dog bark out there on the first round that I kind of start to settle down and start to get in my game plan. But for others, it might be something else that might set them off or calm them down. I can tell you, everybody that's out there tonight wants to win this World Championship, or they would not be here. They have tried hard to get here. They have prepared. They've been doing this for months. Here we are, and here it's happening.
Yeah. We're waiting now for cast to return. The 108 dogs are out, 27 cast, and we're just kind of waiting for them to get back. While we're waiting for them to get back, we're in a very popular area for coon hunting. That's Mount Gilead. Anybody that's a part of the Gilead rings a bell. 4 times the World Hunt has been here, and we're going to jump back out to Rick, and he's going to give us a little bit of information here because this is his hometown. A lot of where these dogs are hunting tonight, he has been there. He has been there where the finals are going to be on Saturday night. So Rick, tell us a little bit about what these hunters are experiencing in the surrounding region of Mount Gilead.
So that's true, Jamie. My wife and I and family moved up here in 2017. I started coming up here to the Morrill County Coon Hunters Club sometime around 2010, and I've been coming up here ever since. And in 2017, we had an opportunity to move here in the county, and actually it's about 5 minutes from the fairgrounds is where I call home right now. And I moved my wife and family up here because of the coon hunting. It is fantastic. There's not a better place to score on coons. We've got it all here. We've got rolling hills, we've got rivers, we've got state land, we've got cornfields, we've got it all right here. And most important, we've got a great population of coons this year. And I think we're going to see some good scores come in tonight. A couple of our guides texted me earlier, and with an hour to go on one cast, they had scored on 5, and another cast had finished with a scoring on 4. So I'm telling you, we are in the heart of coon hunting right now, and this is where you want to crown a world champion.
Well, Rick, we want you to do one more thing for us tonight. 108 dogs qualified or advanced to get here. We've only got 106 hunting tonight, and there's a couple of reasons for that. There's one main reason for that, for these 2 dogs that didn't make it here tonight, and we want to give them honor as well because they did advance and made it through the zones. And so, Rick, can you tell us about those, please?
Well, both hounds that aren't competing tonight are females, and you can just imagine what's going on with them. Earl Hostetler had double shot on the rocks. And about a week and a half ago, Earl noticed that she was coming in season, and that killed his dream of winning the world championship with her. And then today, Greg McCall was leading his female in, Abby, and he noticed that she was coming into season today. And I tell you, it's a heartbreaker for them guys. It's something that happens to us when we're hunting females. They're liable to come in at any time, and it's just unfortunate for those guys. So yeah, we've got 106 dogs competing tonight. We had 108 qualified, and our heart goes out to those 2 owners and their handlers. It's just a sad deal all the way around.
Yeah, and before we move any further, I want to jump to Steve here for just a moment. Before we went live, he was telling me some stories about Droop Jr. and how Droop Jr. could circle a coon and run a coon in the cornfield. So I want to circle back here for just a moment. Steve spent a lot of time in this area as well and hunted a lot here. So Steve, just give me a quick perspective of the surrounding area of Mount Gilead, what you've experienced.
Well, it has, like to Rick's point, it has a lot to offer here. And the number one thing it has to offer is the ability to score. And anytime you come to an area that has ability to score, you can get down in a cast by a couple hundred points, and this area affords you the opportunity to get back in the game, as per to say, and whereas a lot of areas don't. And hence the reason that a lot of breed championships are brought here, a lot of the fourth world title or fourth world championship, as we've heard. I believe since the inception of the Tournament of Champions, this has been one of the regions that they come to.
Yeah.
And this rivals along other places like Salem, Illinois, Aurora, Kentucky, Flora, Illinois, who's hosted many major events. And this rivals with any of them. I think that if you would ask a lot of hunters today, if they had to pick one location to come, the hunters are going to choose. And it gives you an opportunity with a lot of cropland here, cornfields that you talked about, bean fields, plenty of food source, and with the game being plenty like it is this year, I think you're going to see a lot of very competitive casts that it's going to take multiple scoring options in order to be able to win them. So so it's exciting.
It is. It's a very exciting area to hunt, and one of the things that that started a few years back that I always found very interesting was the pick'em, and it kind of gives us bragging rights as coon hunters, and we're going to look at this tonight. Who is the fan favorite to win the 2023 World Coonhound Championship? You, the viewers, made these picks, and I'm going to share some stats with you real quick. Are you ready for these? See if fan favorites tonight: Hobo 48%, Scar 42%, Cookie 36%, Kraken 35%, and Little Joe 17%. You actually see those down to the tenths there, but that's kind of interesting. You see the top four kind of close, but then it drops down to 17% with Little Joe. We've got a lot coming up tonight. We want you to sit back, make yourself at home, enjoy yourself, and we'll be right back in just a few minutes after we see what our partners have to say here with the United Kennel Club. And I just want to remind you, you're watching The United Kennel Club's Coonhound World Championship is brought to you by our performance dog nutrition partner, UKC. Fuel up, train hard, and get after it. And by our GPS collar partner of UKC Dog Truck. Make every dog exceptional.
Your puppy only gets one start to set the foundation for a lifetime of performance at your side. Fuel growth and activity, support digestive health, and give him a training edge to one day flush, point, track, retrieve. So when the gear comes out, he'll be ready. Make every milestone count with game-changing puppy fuel. Eukanuba Premium Performance Puppy Pro.
UKC celebrates 125 years in 2023. For a limited time, honor the history and legacy of your dog's line with the all-new 3-generation Heritage Display Pedigree. The Heritage Display Pedigree pays homage to UKC pedigrees of old with elegant modern touches. These pedigrees are meant to be framed, cherished, and passed down from generation to generation. Whether you have a highly recognized dog or simply want to pay tribute to that special dog from years ago, the Heritage Display Pedigree helps celebrate and recognize those who left their mark. My hope is that my kids and future grandkids have this pedigree tucked away somewhere long after I'm gone. Get your Heritage Display Pedigree at shop.ukcdogs.com.
Guess what? We have a podcast. The all-new United Kennel Club podcast will not only feature great guests, living the sporting dog life, but also rules and sport updates. Tune into the Hunting Ops podcasts with Ellen Gingrich and Trevor Wade to hear the latest Coonhound rules and updates, Beagle rules and updates, and all breaking news about UKC Hunting Ops programs. Hear it right here first. Subscribe on YouTube so you don't miss out. Check out the United Kennel Club online store for all of our magazine subscriptions and UKC merchandise. Go to shop.ukcdogs.com and you'll find all the best gear to support your UKC lifestyle. Snag a new hat, hoodie, or t-shirt and subscribe to our many publications, including our world-leading Coonhound publication, Coonhound Bloodlines. We even have research pedigrees and rule books available to purchase. Why wait? Shop now.
We are back live to the 45th annual UKC World Coonhound Championship. I'm Jamie Eastep, your host tonight, joined by Steve Burkholder. Just a reminder, we sent out 106 hounds into the woods tonight, 27 casters. Excited to meet these winners, to meet these handlers, and to see these hounds. Rick Stretch is ready. He's waiting. He's excited. Got some questions to talk to the handlers tonight about their hunt. And so let's just see what's going on. Rick, have you heard anything? What's going on with you?
Jamie, I'm standing with a winner right now, and I'm telling you the smiles on these guys' faces right now, it's unbelievable. I'm standing here with Willie's little Ann and his handler, her handler, Eric Emery, and Ellis Keene, the owner. Eric, tell us a little bit about your hunt tonight.
It started off pretty slow. I treated a coon by myself, left-handed, and the other dogs in the cast made some trees. We didn't find nothing, and it came down to it. Another dog was treed, and I had to treat another coon to win, and she was deep through there, and I got her treed in, and by the time we walked her, it pretty much wrapped up the cast.
So I seen you had 350 points, so she was under 2 coons tonight that you guys scored on. Any other trees?
Nope, that was it.
That was it.
That
was
last
all of
one
them.
that far kind of.
So you guys actually hunted right here behind the fairgrounds tonight?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't too bad.
So, and then total number of coons, you think? Was it just those two?
We scored on 3.
Scored
Another
on
dog in
3.
the tree and another.
So Ann is out of 2018 world champion, Willie. And Willie won the world hunt right here. Eric, watch your chances. Watch your chances tonight.
That's
this
up to her.
weekend.
I feel confident about it.
I'm as nervous as you are. I'm telling you right now. I mean, I'm tickled for you.
Yeah, I mean, it's everybody's dream to win this hunt. I mean, we all work for it, but, you know, we got a good group of guys behind these dogs.
It is a team. It's a team with this group here. Every time you guys come in, there's 3 or 4, 5, 6, 7 of you in the picture everywhere we go.
Yeah, and I think, you know, that's what makes us so successful. If I can't hunt a dog, my brother Steve a hunter. If Ellis can't get out, JR's hunting her, and we got 3 or 4 more guys that are behind them dogs, and that helps us be successful.
That helps. What other race are you in? They were telling me in my ear here that you're in some other race right now, that you and JR are head-to-head or something going on here.
Well, that's a funny. Me and JR are currently tied for the Triple Crown, but that's
both Willie pups, I'm assuming.
Well, I was hunting Scar at the Winter Classic, and he was hunting Ann, and I got them both qualified for the World. And then at Autumn Oaks, we decided to swap back, so I took over Ann, and now he's hunting Scar, and we're still dead tied, but I mean, whatever happens, either way, I think we'll be all right.
Well, you're ahead of him right now as far as involved with this hound right here.
A little over a year. Bought her off of Chad Blackwell.
Okay. So you know her just like the rest of them do?
Yes, absolutely.
What are you thinking right now, man? You're one step closer to the World Championship.
Just like Eric said, it's a dream come true for any of us guys, and without these boys hunting these dogs, bringing them north and south, I don't think we could make it happen.
Yeah, that's a fact. Larry, congratulations, man.
Appreciate it.
I'm rooting for you.
Yes,
Ellis,
sir.
congratulations to you too. There's your first hound that we've had in here, first cast winner. and they've scored on 3 coons in their cast tonight. It's Ann with Eric Emery and Ellis Keene.
All right. I'm not sure who was most nervous there, whether that would have been Rick or whether that would have been Eric. I actually got to pull for Eric a little bit to win this because just some past history with him, he might have a wedding in his future, and $10,000 would do good, you know. And that
Well, it would definitely go away, as I would think, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, I would. Why don't you take a look and tell us about this here?
Well, you know, most of the time, the dog that scores on the most coons wins. Not always, but I think you can see by looking at the card, like they'd shared, they scored on 3 coons, and she treated 2 of them off to herself. You know, he mentioned a little bit there, he had to have a coon in the end to win, and by what looks on the card, that, you know, looks like she had to have that one to in fact advance. And again, like we touched on earlier, you know, that's what this area provides. You know, it provides you that opportunity to do that. And hey, if she's in running for the Triple Crown, you know, she's obviously shows her consistency. She's won at the Winter Classic, which I think is held in Mississippi. Yep. You know, you have Autumn Oaks that's held right here, or held in Richmond, Indiana, and then she comes to Ohio here, and obviously has an upper leg on that. So you know, the little female is obviously consistent. Has been for a while, all year, the way it sounds. And them ones that are consistent like that in different territory, they tend to be able to be really tough to beat. And her being 3 years old, I think, looking at the statistics, I think we have more 3-year-olds here this year, Jamie, don't we? As far as I think that's dominated the field from what I've seen. On the dogs competing this year, which is usually kind of rare, because normally you know, your world hunt usually produces dogs 4 to 6 years old, but I do think that the 3-year-olds are dominating the field this year.
Yeah, just to kind of give that statistic to the folks, we have 37 3-year-olds competing tonight through that. And the one thing that I noticed on the card is all the dogs were getting on the board, but her card was clean. What she did, she was putting points on the card and was making every moment count.
Yeah, and there's a lot of circle trees. You know, circle trees don't necessarily kill. Something's getting plussed and you're getting circled. And that, hey, and just to explain to the viewers a little bit of what that is, on some of them circle trees, not all, but on some of them, there could actually be a raccoon there, Jamie.
Yeah, that's right.
And you can't find them. You know, so you know, it's just one of the breaks of how it goes. So absolutely.
We're just getting a report in that we have another cast winner in. So we're getting ready to hear from them. So we're going to jump out to Rick Stretch and see who he's with now. Rick, take it, man.
Hey, we're back again. We got another winner here. It's exciting to be here, guys, I'm telling you. So I'm standing here with Tyler Roten and Mills River Strychnine. Tyler, tell us a little bit about your hunt tonight.
We got loose. I strike for a quarter, tree for 125, about 800 in there, 10 minutes in. Walk to him, he's got a coon. Other dogs make a circle tree. One dog takes mine and left a tree. Walk a minute, reflip him, about eight minutes. He's .77, trade again with another coon.
This dog's covering some ground to get in there and find those coons tonight. So you must have hunted pretty local here. You didn't go too far, I'm assuming.
I think he's about 12 minutes.
Okay.
About 12 minutes.
Wow. Okay. Tell us a little bit about how you've come to handle this dog here.
Well, Ashley Guthrie had him, and we bought a dog off Ashley Guthrie, and didn't work out. And Guthrie and Weston started talking. Guthrie said, "I got this dog." He said, would y'all be interested in trying him? I said, yeah. I got him down there at the house, and he had a few problems, and I kind of worked him out, you know.
He's excited to go. I can tell you that. No wonder he goes so dang far. So what zone did you qualify in, Tyler?
Pilot Mountain, Zone 5.
Okay. All right. And how old is Knight?
4-year-old.
Okay. All right. You scored on 2 coons tonight by yourself both times. Tyler, how excited are you? What are you thinking right now?
Shoot, I don't know.
You're one round closer to winning this world hunt.
One cast at a time. All I can do is striking tree.
Yeah. So he's going to be by himself. He's going to skip through that country, sounds like.
Yeah.
None of the other dogs scored on a coon in your cast tonight, then?
I don't know. I went to handle him. I don't know if the blue dog had a coon or not, but she ended up withdrawing. She took a little bit of minus on a bad break.
All right. What are you going to do to prepare for tomorrow night? Sounds like he's on his own out there. You and him both are on your...
Yeah. I've done the homework. He just got to do the rest.
I hear you. Man, he's full of energy. I'm telling you right now. There you go, Strychnine and Tyler Roten.
All right.
They're one round closer to winning this world hunt.
Well, congratulations, and hearing him say that, I think he said he was a 4-year-old, and that's something interesting to me. That's we have 16 4-year-olds. We were talking about that just a moment ago on the 3-year-olds. But looking at the card here, the blue dog that he was talking about, the Tucson Minus that withdrew, she did have a coon, so they did score on a coon, there, but he pretty much described the card as it is. I mean, you see anything else? He just done his thing.
And much like the first cast, he scored on 2 raccoons. One of the other dogs scored on 1. One thing I do see on this card a little different is there wasn't a lot of scoring done on this card. The other card was obviously touched on.
A little more.
Was a lot more filled up.
Made more trees.
Was a lot more trees made as to where here there wasn't as many trees made. You can see that the dog on the bottom there did score on a couple circle trees.
Yeah.
And, probably either couldn't get him to look or, may have been a den, whatever it may be. And, Jamie, that brings us up to a good point. We obviously know how hard it is to get here. It just really is. And, sometimes when you get to this level, these dogs are all good dogs that are here. But sometimes it takes that break. It takes that break to walk into. We've all had it where, as you're walking across the field, and in the lights, you can see that coon looking at you, and you get in the tree, handle a dog, and you back out in that same spot, and he may have moved or whatever, and there you sit with that pit in your stomach, knowing that he has it and you can't. And that's the breaks. We've been on both sides of that spectrum.
And that's so true of what you just said. A lot of times just tree location. If you can get a coon on the edge of a field and you can back out in that field and get a light into it, you're at an advantage that dog is treed deep into the country. One thing that jumped on that come out to me was these first 2 casts that we've come back, and this is awesome speaking for the local hunters here and the local club. I think Eric's cast was just right over here, almost behind the grounds, and this other cast, I said, what did he say, 12 minutes away? And we're seeing cast treeing coons in just moments away. That's pretty good for a club that can put hunters in the woods that close. That's pretty good.
Yeah, and to your point,
and to tree coons.
Absolutely, to your point, Jamie, having hunted around here for a lot of years and hunted in big events here. I think in talking to a lot of the guides and stuff tonight and the hunters, I think the farthest cast, you're talking 40, 45 minutes away. And that's really pretty remarkable.
Yeah.
That you can take this caliber of a hunt and that's the farthest you're going to drive. Now, you may get over that 40 minutes and hunt for an hour and have to pick up and move to another location and drive another 5 or 10 minutes. But to be able to do that with 27 casts and get them all in good hunting, and I think we could all agree, if you have an opportunity to score on 3 raccoons, and Rick touched on 1 cast that scored on 5, 1 cast that scored on 4, I think we're going to see some really competitive casts before the night's over.
Yeah, both of these casts that's come back has scored on three coons. And one of the things that's interesting to me and being able to host this here, and Rick talked about it when he was describing Mount Gilead, is today's competition hunts are different because these dogs don't tree together. They're split everywhere. And to be able to have an area that you can put dogs in, and dogs to be able to operate, and dogs not get into danger. Steve, just a little bit of a different direction here, and it probably answers a lot of questions as we're going to get into this, is even though it's our 4th time of hosting the World Hunt here, we can go back in history and we can say that the very first World Hunt that was held ever for the United Kennel Club was held only 70 miles from here. So that tells us that this area has been known not just recently for for coonhound or for competition hunts and world hunts, it's been there. And so just share with me some thoughts on the history of you being with the world hunt and what you've accomplished and things of nature.
Absolutely. Now, Rick has enough to win the world championship.
He's told us that only one of us have.
The World Coonhound Championship. I've been to the Final Four when it was held at Columbia City, Indiana, and maybe not as much now, but Columbia City, Indiana was a great place to be able to hold big hunts as well. They hosted the World Hunt in 2000, made the Final Four, ended up placing third that year. And I can tell you from my experience, the work that went into to get there and got to the final cast and actually was leading the cast with like 20 minutes left to go in the hunt, and things just didn't go my way. And which is okay, to just get there was a huge accomplishment. And talking about world hunts and hearing Tyler share a little bit, here's what's exciting. Here's a silver lining to a lot of this. You put a lot of work in to come to these preparation work done. And he got this dog, and he had this dog, and what did he mean? They go through phases, and sometimes get them kind of geared back right to be able to go out there and compete. And I believe this is our 45th UKC World Hunt, and a testament to your point on that. Even 45 years ago, this was a great place to bring a hunt.
And that's what I found it interesting is, coming from West Virginia and spending my whole life in West Virginia. I come out here to hunt. There's not a bad place you could take me. It's just great. It's just great hunting. You said something that I want to kind of key on for just a minute. And you said that Tyler had to work some things out with that dog and do some things like that. Do you have a philosophy going into a cast? Do you have a mindset of what you're trying to do? Give you an example. If I'm in West Virginia, and I tell this to hunters all the time in West Virginia, especially young hunters in West Virginia, is win the first coon. Here in West Virginia, you might not have that second coon to treat. That ain't true here. You can come back. But do you have a mindset as a competitor going in? What would you be thinking if you were driving 10 miles away to turn a dog loose tonight?
Well, I think that we all, for me, over the years, the way I looked at it is it doesn't matter how many points you win by, it matters if you win. That's really the goal. And I know, some handlers' philosophy is they're going to play offense the whole time. Some handlers' philosophy is, hey, I'm going to play defense, I'm going to get a coon up, and then I'm just going to play defense and that kind of thing. But I think that every situation is different. Now, that being said, I've never been one that got greedy. When you're out there hunting, and what I mean by not being greedy, I didn't have to win the cast by 300 for it to be impressive, because the next day nobody's going to remember that you blew that cast out, as per to say, I guess you could use that language, is they're going to remember that you're the one that's advancing.
You're moving on.
And the way that these dogs operate today now is you can, for me, in any, as the situation, the first when you cut them loose, you have the first set of strike points. And that kind of dictates on how that cast is going to be played out. Because obviously the dog with first strike has an advantage, because if he trees a coon off to himself, and if he doesn't make a mistake, everything else has to tree two to beat him. So if I'm not going to get a first strike, then I'm going to sit there and know that I'm going to have to score on one and play a little bit more of an offensive mindset, and versus if I'm struck for 100, kind of scenario.
And I think you're very key or very intelligent on that, because so many times the dog that can tree the second coon is going to win a lot of times, because dogs, I've seen from my experience, dogs coming from different areas don't always recut well, and the dog that can score that second coon is going to win a lot of times. And if you look on the first on this card right here, we see that he was recut. still on the ground.
You know, it was that second coon that obviously sealed the deal. The way the rules is, and Rick touched on it a little bit earlier, we're Jamie, and you know, it's a full elimination style of an event.
That's
and
right.
This is the first year that we're doing this at the finals. And today when they went through that and they shared with a lot of the handlers and stuff on that, there was just a lot, that was a really good vibe. I mean, that was, you know, it was something that I think a lot of hunters that put a lot of effort in this really wanted, because, you know, you can get in situations even here where, you know, it's unfortunate circumstances, you know, can dictate that, but with it being a full elimination style of an event, there's going to be a cast winner in 98 or 99.99% of all casts, whereas before, if you didn't have plus points, you wasn't going to advance.
It was a dead cast.
And it was a dead cast, and that's not to no fault of the dogs. It's not, I mean, understand this. These dogs have to score plus points in several rounds before they get here. So it's not a matter that they didn't get here by not being able to tree raccoons. And so, you know, a few years ago we changed the format from, you know, we used to have a lone round, and that, you know, that kind of went away or whatever. And now this year they went to a full elimination style of event, and moved by UKC. Ton of effort and spend a lot of money and sleepless nights, you know, to try to get here. That, you know, hey, we're going to have a winner regardless of how it plays out. So pretty excited about that.
Yeah, I'm just going to kind of share some numbers here. I think Rick hit them very quick at the beginning, but he just said we're in the total elimination format tonight. But to get here, dogs had to score plus point cast wins. So when they entered the RQE, they had to win their cast with plus points, wherever that may be, most of the time local to their area. 3,602 dogs entered in RQEs across America from January on. 834 qualified, 505 entered zones, and we're down now to 108 advanced to the zones, but as we learned, only 106 are here. 27 cast winners tonight. One not advanced, but for the most part, we're going to see 27 cast winners. That will go from down to 9 tomorrow night, and then 27 will go out, and then we'll go down to 9, and then we'll go to 3. I want to share a piece of information with you, Rick, and with Steve. Man, that's an insult to call you Rick, ain't it? I'm telling you. I mean, that was bad right there. I apologize for that.
Well, it wouldn't be an insult for him. You can believe that.
He's probably got excited if he finds out that I called you. He would be excited to think that. But anyhow, we said that Mount Gilead has hosted the World Hunt 4 times. That's pretty cool in itself. But one of the things that I found unique when I was studying this is we've kind of seen two cool moments. Is Willie won it, and we've already seen one pup out of Willie win, and there's some more Willie pups here tonight. But also, this is the location where a plot dog won the World Hunt, Kansas Sizzling Heat, and the only plot dog to win the World Hunt. I think that was in 1988. I'm not sure about that. Yep. I think that.
88
did you ever hunt with that dog?
I did not. I started hunting the hunts. I believe the first night hunt I personally entered was in 90.
Okay.
But I remember that, you know, because when you're young and these world, you know, the World Hunt, once you go to one and you know, United Kennel Club has a book, Coonhound Bloodlines, and so when I first decided I was in a competition hunt, I started getting the bloodlines, and you know, I remember vividly the month that the issue come out, and it had the World Coonhound Championship on it, and I kept that book, still have that book today. It was actually 1993, and it was the year that Tom won it. And you know, I started researching the history of the Coonhound, you know, champions, and it's when you compete, the ultimate prize, the ultimate goal is to win the UKC World Hunt. It's the hunt still today that holds more, in my opinion, and an opinion of many others, it holds more prestige to win this UKC World Hunt than any title of any. Remember that. I can tell you in 88, Sizzling Heat won it. In 89, I believe.
Okay.
Or Radar won it. 91. But my point is when you started competing in the hunts, you know, of how much that was etched in your mind on that.
Yeah, I never hunted with heat either, but being in West Virginia, you know that there's a lot of plot dogs in West Virginia. And never a lot of folks bred and hunted a lot of dogs. Interesting that the year of dog ever won it. And I was looking, you said something there that, and I'm kind of jumping a lot of places just in our conversation, but I find this interesting. I don't know if there's a fact on this where we could fact check this or anything, but I just wonder, you mentioned the Flora Club in Flora, Illinois, and I was reading here, one of the older events was held at the Charlie Brown Park, and I just wonder what club with UKC has hosted more majors? Mount Gilead would have to be in that race. I mean, they would have to be there, but I would think Florida would be one as well. Can there be any other clubs you think about that has been, that you would think would be?
Well, I would think that definitely Flora, Illinois. I know my hometown club, the DeKalb County Coonhunters Association, alongside with the Grange, hosted 3 world championships up there, several breed hunts, but the club that would come to mind, I mean, has been there. They have the PKC has a lot of big events there, and Flora is always a major player.
That's right.
Of that, of them hunts, and again, Flora is one of them areas in that it just provides so much for hunting, and it's a safe place to hunt, and you can drive literally all 4 directions from there and be in good hunting.
I should have contacted Trevor and seen if we could get some facts on that of what clubs have hosted so many majors, but I'm like you. Charlie Brown Park is, if you've been a part of coon hunting, you've hunted in Mount Gilead, you've hunted in Flora, there's been places that, what's the club in Michigan? You were right there.
Bellevue, Michigan.
Yeah, they've had to be
held many major.
Is that the Wolverine Coon Hunters?
Wolverine Coon Hunters Association.
I was trying to think if I could remember Wolverine, but I couldn't remember where it was.
And they held a lot of breed hunts over the years.
Yeah, they would have to be, I would think, in that as well.
Most certainly up in that area. Too, and a lot of your major breed events and stuff like that are basically in the central part, I guess you could say, of the United States, and for good reason. So it give people, it's a travel thing, that kind of thing, plus what it has to offer.
Okay. All right, well, we just heard, we're getting a report from the field that we have another cast winner in. So let's jump out to Rick right now. And Rick, can you tell us what's going on? What have you learned?
Well, I got the cast winner Lucky 13 here right now, and that's Hardwood Thumper, owned by Randy Lawson. And I've hunted with Thumper up in Ohio and Michigan a few times, and this dude is a coon dog. Randy, tell us a little bit about how your hunt went tonight.
It went good. We scored on 4 coons. It was a good hunt.
You and Thumper scored on 4 coons. It looked like to me that you guys scored on 6 or 7 coons total.
Yeah.
And you had a final score of 625. So tell me a little bit about how he accumulated that. Was he off by himself some?
Yeah, he was off by himself every time.
Every time. All right. Tell me a little bit about Thumper. What's he yellow of?
After Dark Mikey and Eddie Godfrey Firefly.
Okay.
Female.
I've hunted with Fly. And how old is he now?
5.
He's as solid as a rock, isn't he? I'm telling you, I hunted with him, I believe it was last fall, and he really put on a show up there in Michigan. So how does it feel to be one step closer to winning the world hunt?
Feels good. Feels good.
It's got to feel good. Who'd you hunt against this first round, you remember?
Bryce Matthews, I think, is one of them.
Okay.
And then I don't really know the other two.
Okay. All right. How far did you go?
45 to an hour.
Okay. All right. Very good. So you're done for the night. You're coming back tomorrow night. There's going to be 9 casts tomorrow night. We'll be down to 27. What are you going to do between now and then to make it a little bit easier on you to win the first round tomorrow night?
Go get some rest.
Go get some rest. You bet.
All right. Well, we got another cast winner here tonight, and he put a show on. 625, working by himself, doing his thing. 375 was the closest dog to him, and we're seeing here again tonight. But he was dominating the first trees, getting by himself. Scored on number. That might not understand what that means. Some of them could be 3 coons up a tree, but you're only scoring 1 tree. So, Steve, take us through that.
Well, enough to hunt with this dog, and this doesn't. And I've seen him or not. And I can tell you, I'm really excited for Randy. I've watched that. I watched probably 30 minutes, 35 minutes from where I lived at in northern Indiana. And his dad has hunted, pretty much all his life. And now to see little Randy, I guess, cool, is what we call him, do that is really exciting.
Before we go back out to the field, because I've heard we got another cast winner in. I'm not sure of this, but I was just listening to the podcast, and the dog that just won Autumn Oaks with Lee Varner, is it out of After Dark Mikey as well?
I believe so. I believe so.
I was watching that podcast, or listening to that podcast, actually, as I was driving up. Trevor and Alan go with me everywhere I go. I listen to them as I drive, and I thought that was the dog. I think Rick, we are. All right, Rick, tell us what you got, man.
It's about time you let us winners
over
here
trying.
Talk about this. Hey, so I'm standing here with Rolling Thunder, Maybe Abby, and Justin Glow, the handler, owner Rick Salfin from Missouri. Justin, tell me a little bit about what went on out there tonight. I've seen you kind of had a low score tonight.
Yep. She treed the only coon in the cast, and everybody else had some circle and stuff, but one coon was good enough to get done.
Did it seem like the coons were moving where you were at, or was it a little more?
No, not really. Don't seem like they were moving real good. We got into kind of some cut over, but yep, she did what she had to.
How far in there was she when she come treed?
What's that? She was only about 400 yards, really. Yep.
Made it count.
Yes, sir.
Tell me a little bit about her. What's she out of?
She is a dog, and she's out of Mark McGinn's Hope, Rebel's Last Hope.
Okay. All right. And how long have you been handling her?
What's that? About a year now.
Okay. So you know the ins and outs of her.
Yep.
She's capable of scoring more.
We come out of the Sedeli zone of 450 plus.
Okay, which is pretty good down there. I mean, it's a little bit tougher down there where you guys come from.
Yep, yes, sir.
Yeah. World hunt.
Yes, sir.
What about your nerves? Are you jittery? What's
happens?
All right. And you guys are married, so you got about a 20-minute ride back to the room.
Yep.
What are you going to do between now and tomorrow night to prepare for?
And see what we can do again tomorrow night.
I'm tickled for you, man. Right. Congratulations. Good luck tomorrow night.
Thank you, Rick.
Hey, something he said, first off, want to say congratulations. But when he was kind of describing where he hunts, and he said it was a little rough where he hunts, but then he described where he was at tonight and some cutovers and things. So that dog probably wasn't too surprised about that. She might not have been an edge runner or anything like that. She was able to get in there and produce this one coon and have it. So that was my thought. I mean, what do you think?
Well, he mentioned something. This dog is out of a dog called had hope. I've hunted with him a bunch. You know, that's a little bit of what she's bred up to do.
Yeah.
And so good about having that opportunity. I mean, obviously they wasn't in a position, but I will tell you this: there's some circle trees on here.
That's right.
So you know they
trying.
They was trying, absolutely.
And the beautiful thing of this is, in this type of hunt, that 175 looks just as good as 600.
It's 100% because
Hey,
it has it's
highlighted, moving on.
It's highlighted and has a CW beside
That's right.
it.
Well, we're getting reports that we got another dog.
Well, I got somebody here that's not really familiar with the winter circle, and that's my buddy Scott Engel. Very long, I don't think.
I haven't had Jack long at all, maybe.
Right here.
He's off old rodeo. And then Jeff Hetrick's big money female.
So tell us a little bit about the cast tonight. How'd you pull this off?
Treated coon, had 225 on it. It kind of, you know, then he was gone for a bit and was treed kind of out of hearing. Well, we made several more trees, and then he had a coon right there at the end for the win.
So he scored on 2 coons. Any other dogs score on coons in your cast?
Yeah, Mike Plaster.
Okay, all right. Rocky Hall's dog, Brad Hall's dog,
Yeah.
probably?
How do you say his last name?
Plaster.
Plaster, yep. He treed 2 coons and had me beat there to the very, very, very end.
Okay. What's his style, Scott?
Just a coon dog.
Just a coon dog. You ain't got much to say tonight. So he's out of world champion rodeo. You won the world hunt in
2020.
2020. So we got one out of Willie in here already. So there's a dog. So what are you going to do tonight to prepare him for tomorrow night?
We're going to feed him good. We get in there.
Okay.
We get home. We're going to feed him good and let him rest.
What about Wallace? Is he going with you tomorrow night? Is he your good luck charm?
Wallace, you going tomorrow night?
Wallace is going tomorrow night. Sure he is. Sure he is.
Yeah, he's going tomorrow night.
Yeah. Well, congratulations, Scott. I am happy.
Thank you, sir.
We're pretty excited. That's interesting. We've got already 2 winners, cast winners from dogs that have won the World Hunt. I can't wait to talk to Scott tomorrow because Rick said, my good buddy Scott, Rick didn't even pick that dog to win tonight. I mean, well, maybe I'm lying there just a little bit, but anyhow, we'll make Rick nervous on that. But I actually heard some things about this dog coming from Autumn Oaks, and a friend of mine hunted with this dog and said that he just put on a show at Autumn Oaks and was treating them, just popping them up. And so doesn't surprise me here. He came out of my zone in Pennsylvania where I was Master of Hounds at, and on Saturday night, 575, 550, something like that.
Which is a good score there.
Yeah. He was rolling, so it doesn't surprise me at all of a dog doing this. So 2 good points there. Just very interesting that so far we're seeing world champions reproduce, and that's probably important to Scott and JR. So take it away there, man.
Yeah, you know, he made another comment. This is the second time we've heard it tonight. Had to have a coon at the end to win.
It's the second coon.
And it was the second coon that he treed. You know, you talked about on the cast, you know, if you get struck for 100 on what you're going to do. Hey, I hunted with this dog sire, and if he's anything like rodeo, he's got as good a chance of winning this thing as anyone here. Rodeo actually placed 5th that year and got beat in the late round. So, you know, comes out of really good bloodlines. And, you know, I know Scott's only had him for a couple weeks, but I guarantee he's ready.
Yeah.
So,
and one of the things that I've found interesting, we're talking a lot about the second coon, is if you look at all the cards, these are all 2 coon cast wins.
2 coon cast
and
wins.
I just, that's
yeah, exactly.
2 coon cast wins. And they're treating more coons on the cast, but the dog that has won the cast is a 2 coon cast win.
You know, and if you look at this card just a little bit, is, you know, the master lock dog scored on 2 coons as well.
Yeah.
And, you know, he just, unfortunately for him, on his very first coon, he was circled.
And Scott
tree
had a
is
good
skirled,
strike.
and Scott had a good strike. So
Scott
it's just,
had 100 strikes. So
the strike is what was really
I think we're ready to go back to Rick. Got another cast winner in. So Rick, tell us what you got.
I'll tell you what I got. I got Schooner River Ghost and owner and handler Chad Showalter right here. We got the wrong, James Bowman here. I'm sorry about that, James. I'm just reading what they put in front of me, even though I know. Tell me a little bit about this here, and what kind of hunt did you guys have tonight?
We had a good hunt. We treed altogether 4 or 5 coons. He treed 2 by himself, and he looked good.
How far out did you guys go tonight?
We went about 45 minutes.
Okay, all right. And tell me a little bit about this dog. What's he off of?
He's off Fred Bear and Luke Stark's country female.
That was a good cross right there.
Oh,
good cross. How old is he?
He just turned 4 back in August.
A little bit about his style.
He hunts the edges. He tries to treat coons around him, wherever you cast him at. He don't blow through the country until he hunts the area out, and then he'll blow out.
James, you qualified to get here at the Wisconsin zone.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we talked about that a little bit before the other day.
Yeah.
So you're 1 round closer to winning the world hunt. What are you going to do tonight? And this is Carson.
Yeah, it's my son.
Carson, what are you going to do tonight to make sure that Dad and this dog win the next round?
I guess. Get some rest.
Yeah, get some rest and take care of the dog? All right. Where you guys staying at?
Country Inn.
Over towards Marion?
Yeah.
So you got a little bit of a drive to get back there.
Yeah.
Oh, well, man, it's great seeing you. I'm glad we had our little chat there early on, and we'll be looking for you tomorrow night, Carson. Get right in them pictures with him, okay?
We'll be here.
All right. Thank you much, you guys.
All right. That's exciting for a couple of reasons. Number one, James having his son with him, and coming off of Fred Bear. I actually have a male dog at the house off of Hank, and Hank is Fred Bear, is what Hank is his call name. And so congratulations to James and them. And one thing that I find interesting before we kind of break this card down, James is from Kentucky. And Rick said that he came out of Wisconsin. So I'm pretty for sure that Indiana would have been closer than the Wisconsin zone, but he chose to travel. And that's one of the ways that our zones are set up, is that you can choose to where you want to go in your zone. But go.
And here again, he scored on 2. It's at this level. It's just he was in a 3-dog cast because the Abbey female was coming to heat. So absolutely.
Well, we've already got another cast winner in. So Rick, you're getting busy, man. So no complaints from us. What do you got?
Hey, they're coming in quick here. They're coming in quick, and I've got cast winner number 22, Sweet Lady Belle with Levi Esposito, owned by Megan Wannett. Levi, tell me a little bit about your hunt tonight.
Well, she looked good for the first half. Second half was a little whiffy, but it was enough, I guess.
All right. And what kind of score did you have?
300.
Scored on how many coons within the cast tonight?
Myself or everybody?
All of them. All of them.
Everyone, we scored 5.
Total of 5.
Yeah.
And you had 300?
I treated 2.
Treated 2.
Yep.
Held on to your points, didn't lose?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
Okay.
Fourth and first on both coons, and just held on to it, you know.
Tell us a little bit about her.
Belle, well, she is, her highs are high, but her lows are low.
On a roll early on. Yeah. And how old is she?
She's 6.
Okay.
Yep.
Do you know what her siren dam is?
She's just out of some backyard stuff around home.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay. All right. And you've been handling her for how long?
I've had her at my place now for a couple months, probably 3-4 months or so.
Not for a long time.
No, but I've hunted with her since she was just a pup. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, with my buddy standing behind over there.
All right.
Yeah.
How many times you been to the World Hunt?
This is my second time being
Second
here.
time.
Yep.
What year did you go before?
Last year.
Last year?
Last year, yes, sir.
And a different dog, I'm assuming?
Yeah, I was hunting Lone Pine Bella for Randy Smith at the
okay.
time. Yep.
Yep. And Randy's got a slew of them in here this week.
Yes, sir. Yep.
Yeah. So you've won the first round.
Yeah.
You got to be excited.
lie, buddy. Ain't gonna lie.
I bet. So what are you going to do between now and tomorrow night?
Oh hell, that's a tough one. I guess watch my language here.
You're fine.
Yeah, no, that's a tough
Let's
one.
keep
We'll
it
just
back to
relax.
that,
Yeah, we'll just relax, you know.
Okay.
Yep.
All
See
right.
what happens.
All right.
She's gonna do her thing no matter what. So.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, best of luck to you, man.
Yep,
I'm
thank
happy
you.
for
I
you.
appreciate it.
All right. There you have it, guys. Another winner in.
All right. I think, Rick, if he keeps advancing before we get to Saturday night, we need to make sure we get his last name right, because I mess it up as well, because he's came out of my zone the last 2 years as well. And most of the time I just say Levi because I know where it's at. Again, two coons.
Absolutely, and hey, this cast was a pretty competitive cast by looking at the card. They scored on 5 coons, and there's a dog in there that had 200, another dog that had 2 1/4, and so that the second coon that he treated is really what sealed the deal for him. This card is full, so I mean it looks to me like
they were busy.
They was busy doing a lot of different things. So
what's the judge had done a lot of walking to this one?
Bud
Buds.
McCullum,
Yep. I think we're getting another report in. Rick is just soaking up all the video tonight. So Rick, what do you got?
I'm telling you, the only thing that's going on is this right here. Winners coming in. And no stranger to the winner's circle right here. Cody Carter and Snooky's Cookie. And I'm telling you, she's one of the fan favorites, I'm sure. I don't know where she was in the top 5 picks or whatever. But Cody, tell us a little bit about your hunt tonight.
She struck for 100 out of the truck, which don't happen often. And them dogs got that coon treat on her, and she kind of blowed out of there about 800. Got another one treat, and recut her off that. And Rip dog ended up treating 2 in the meantime, and about a half hour left there in the hunt. She's pushing a mile. We got her scored again, and we had to go back to dog that went back to the same tree a few times, and she was treated at 1.5, way out of pocket, but caught a break, and Rip ended up going back to the tree, so we ended up winning by 50 or 75.
So she stayed focused, sounds like.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're talking about her going a mile and 1, mile and a half, things like that. Is that the norm for her?
No, she's usually a kind of a patch dog, but when she's got to, she will.
Okay, all right. And she's out of?
Nisho River Cuz and a Mr. Clean female.
All right, and she's owned by Justin Davenport. They're not up here this weekend yet.
No, they're Justin's actually over at Baby Steaks hunting a couple pups off her tonight.
And Brent, what did you guys breed to her?
Bush.
You've been here before.
Yeah, this is my 5th year in this top 100s. We finished 10th last year, so maybe we'll do a little better this year.
And with her?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. When this hunt's over this weekend, win, lose, or draw, what's going to happen with you and her? Where are you guys going to go next?
I think we got a few pro sport hunts coming up, and after that, we're probably going to put her up and concentrate on these pups.
Okay.
She's been good to us and don't owe us nothing.
Sure. And you talk about her going that far. Is it a problem ever hearing her when she goes that far? Has she got a good enough voice to
Man, she's really got a common mouth, but it seems like she never.
I shouldn't have asked that question, probably.
It never puts you in that situation where you can't hear. I mean,
sure.
You're not going to hear a mile and a half or nothing.
You were about 30, 40 miles away. You said you guys were close to Killdeer or something like that, or in Killdeer?
Yeah, we hunted in Killdeer.
Okay. And the total number of coons you guys scored on, you think?
4.
4?
Cookie treed 2 and Rip treed 2.
Okay. All right. Very right. That's Cody Carter and
combo that if you remember back at the beginning of the program, I think she was number 2 or number 3 in this thing, and she's not give up yet. It's all 5 with Cookie, or maybe he had something else in there. Treat on 4, but Snooky had 2.
Mistake the last time around about not picking this female to win, and I didn't make that mistake tonight. This female and Cookie, they've been winning for the anything that they put her in, and I know that Steve and Justin Davenport got to be just tickled pink to have to get to this point again. you know, getting through the zone is tough. We've heard it from a lot of people. It's tough to get out of the zones, and when you get to the zones and you get to the top 100, you're nervous, but you get to relax a little bit. You know, I mean, I'm not saying relax, but it's anything that you do here is just icing on the cake.
Yeah.
You know, and I'll tell you, Mount Gilead, Ohio sets up for this little female to make a deep run in this world hunt, if not win it.
And I mean,
she's that capable because, you know, she scored on 2 tonight, was able to win that cast, and I can tell you, if they put her in the right situation. Hunted, competed against her. Guys have been knocking on the door. You know, it just seems that them 5-6-year-old dogs, they just become consistent and they cut down on their mistakes.
Yeah.
You know, so hey, congratulations, Cody Carter, Snooky's Cookie, and to the Davenports. They got a really good shot. She's one of my picks to advance. You know, all of us did a lot of picks, and we'll talk about it later or whatever. And she was most certainly one that I picked to advance.
Yeah, she was in my pick'em that I did back, you know, before we got here. You could pick 5 dogs in your pick'em, and she was one of mine as well. Probably one of the things that Cody said that caught my attention, that's very similar to what a lot of the other handlers have said, is even though we're here where there's a surplus of coons, and we're seeing that. You turn 4 dogs into a patch of woods, and dogs are treeing coons. You know, there's only going to be so many in that patch of woods, but then she's getting out of there and going deeper, find another patch, maybe cutting across the field. I don't know, but they're getting into another patch, and some of these dogs are going there and they're finding that second coon, and that's important because we can clearly see Rip was treeing coons as well.
Yeah, absolutely, and hey. She drew a tough cast out. I mean, there was some good dogs in this cast, and you know, I know that you know, like to your point, the Rip dog is very capable. He's done quite a bit of winning over the past, you know, year or so, and you know, beat a good cast. I guarantee he's excited that he's moving on, and you know. They got a legitimate shot. They got a legitimate shot at winning this thing.
Yeah. So let me ask you a question. This kind of is, I guess, a world hunt question. Okay, if you were qualified at RQE and you were getting ready for the zones, would you do anything special to get ready? Would you just hunt? Would you do anything in particular? And if you made it through the zones, got home on a Sunday, you know, probably either come up here on a Wednesday evening or a Thursday, would you do anything there as well to get ready?
Well, you know, I think what a lot of probably the mistake that I've seen people make or whatever, all these double headers. You can hunt double headers, and so the double headers obviously happen in the morning time, and so you know. What I would do is maybe pleasure hunt early and go to a late round doubleheader to prepare for this. Absolutely. Yeah. And you know, every dog is different. When you look at them, they prepare different. Some dogs the more you hunt them, the better they look. Other ones, you hunt them a night and you hunt them a certain way and hunt them that 2-hour duration. They're ready for the next night. You know, so. You know, and here again, there's a lot of guys, you know, most of the guys here that are hunting here have a full-time job, Jamie.
Yeah, that's right.
And so, you know, there's a lot of sacrifices made on that end because they're working 40 to 60 hours a week.
Yeah.
You know, so it's hard to prepare. And I know guys say we're gonna cut them loose, and you know it happens what it happens. But I can guarantee you, the bulk of them, they're hunting these dogs to try to get them ready.
Get them ready for it. I'm hearing that we've got another dog showing up, but we might have to move to that dog pretty quick here. But if we do, I want to come back to something that you said, and I find it important is routine of dog, and keep the dog in as much normal routine when you're traveling. Some dogs travel better than other dogs, and I think routine helps that. We're going to go to Rick. We've got another winner in that we're hearing. So Rick, we kind of took a little bit of your time this time.
Yeah, here we are again. We got another winner. Local cast. I believe you guys, how far did you guys travel to hunt tonight?
15 minutes.
15 minutes. And we got a dog here. The dog's name is The Boy Named Sue. Handled by Tress Briggs and owned by Brandon Greens. So Tress, tell us a little bit about your hunt tonight.
We hunted just alongside of a cornfield and turned into a big oak timber, and we turned loose, and 2 dogs got treed left-handed, and we was going that way, and Sue fell to the right of us and got treed, and I struck and treed him and went into the dogs, and 2 dogs was split. One had a coon, another was circle tree, and come back, Sue had a coon.
All right. You guys scored on 4 or 5 coons in the cast
Yes, sir.
then tonight?
Yes, sir.
So he had a coon or 2 off to himself?
Had 3 by himself.
Had 3 by himself that you got scored on?
Yes, sir.
All right. Tell
Yes,
us a little bit about his style. Is he hunting around us? Is he getting in there deep?
He gets in there deep. If there's coons laid up, he's just a kind of just fall through there and just come treat type dog. He don't run track or nothing.
All right. How long have you been handling this dog?
I've had him ever since he was 4 weeks old.
Oh, okay.
I've
So you-
started him. Brandon made a deal with me, said he'd give me half interest in him if I'd hunt him and train him and stuff, and here we are.
Yeah. All right. How old is he now?
He's just a year old.
Sired by, damned by?
He's sired by the Rowdy dog, Brandon's dog.
That's the one that tried to take my arm off last year.
Yes,
at the
sir.
World, huh?
Yes. Bad news,
I remember
Rowdy.
that. There's no chance of that going on here.
No, sir.
Okay.
And Loudmouth June
Okay. All right.
is the mama.
So you've won the first round. You got to be excited. You're standing here like it's no big deal, but now you
Yeah,
got to be pumped a little bit.
I'm
I know
shaking
Brandon's
inside.
pumped. He's wanting to talk as much as he can right now.
He's nervous as a cat on hot tender.
I hear you. I hear you, Brandon. Tell us a little bit. So you guys are making a good team here already this weekend.
Oh yeah, man! I couldn't be more proud of him and this dog.
Yeah.
I mean, like he said, I just made a deal with him. Said, hey, this was my stud feed pup that I got out of breeding a female for David Bacon. I said, man, I got too many dogs. I said, if you'll take this young dog and just get him ready for hunts, we'll run him. And that's what he's done. I mean,
What zone did you guys come out of?
4.
4.
Yes,
and
sir.
and what state?
The Missouri.
Missouri. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So he's much more friendlier than Rowdy.
oh yeah,
Yeah. All right. So
Rowdy's friendly now.
so you guys are going to go back to the motel. What are you going to do between now and tomorrow night?
Hopefully get some sleep, but I doubt it.
Brandon, you judged the cast for us tonight.
Yes,
so
sir.
your cast is already back in as well.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, congratulations to you guys.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks for coming in.
Thank you all.
And good luck to you guys.
All right, thank you.
There you go, fellas. Another winner.
All right. I remember today that dog was confirming, and I said he was in the line that Alan was working, Alan Roberts, and I said, that's a sharp-looking English dog. That's how one looks. So congratulations to those guys. Look good tonight. Look good tonight. So take us through the card, and I know you're pointing at something and going to share it. It is very interesting. So take it, Steve.
Well, this is something that happens very rare at a world hunt, and that is this dog is a 1-year-old. So this is a very young hound, and they scored on 5 coons, and this dog treed 3 of them, and that's impressive. For a dog that's a year old now, he could be 22, 23 months old, I'm not sure, but he's a 1-year-old as of right now, so that's pretty impressive.
It
Jamie.
is.
I can tell you from my recollection, the Jane female was, I think, 22 months old or something like that, or she was a young dog, Insane Jane, when she won the world hunt, and then the following year went back and placed second, but very competitive cast, and I can tell you there was a couple dogs. This dog beat a lot of good ones. Obviously, the Gooden female was in there. $1,000 Trip was in there. These good hounds, and she was able to, or he was able to win this cast.
And looking at our notes here, mentioning that he's a year-old, there's 3 of them here. So him and 2 other year-old dogs are here competing tonight. And so it's pretty cool. He got on scored on 3 coons, and so It's exciting to hear that. We're going to take a little break tonight, and I just want to remind you that you're watching the Midnight Mayhem of the UKC United Kennel Club Coonhound World Championships. I'm Jamie Estep, your host. This is Steve Burkholder. We have Rick Stretch with us out in the field taking care of the winners, and we're excited you're here. And so take a break with us, and we'll see you just in a minute.
They're partners, ready to do whatever it takes. Athletes that pound for pound can outrun, outwork, and outperform anybody you're watching on Sunday. No contract required. You don't waste that kind of potential. You train it, fuel it, unleash it. You feed nutrition that holds nothing back. The Eukanuba Premium Performance Lineup.
Did you know that your monthly subscription to Coonhound Bloodlines comes packed with upcoming UKC event information, official UKC event results, and articles of interest about coon hunting? It sure does. Read about the top competition hunters and hounds, as well as stories about pleasure hunting and bench show hounds. Subscribe today or renew online at shop.ukcdogs.com.
It's been an absolute unbelievable journey, and what we do from a small little company to a multi-million-dollar corporation. It's pretty cool. We enjoy what we do. We service our customers very well. We come and sit here and repair product for people on the spot where they don't have to mail it and wait to get it back. We just take pride in doing every aspect of the business, not just selling the lights, but taking care of the customer as well. The United Kennel Club, when I was growing up in my teens, I started hunting in some of their competition hunts. Mainly me and my dad. We'd just go and enjoy ourselves and do that. And I got a little bit older and ended up becoming a master of hounds, bench show judge for them, and I've just been involved with them. I've known for years in the hunting and always had a close relationship with most of them. I mean, business is business, and I understand you got to do business, but there's being a master of hounds. I've worked a lot of hunts for a lot of people. I've worked a lot of major events, black and tan days, different things. I've judged down here at the Winter Classic. If they need help, I'll go there and do it if I can, if there's any way I can, and never charge a dime. And then giving back to the hunters, the hunters have kept me up for the last 25 years. And to the hunters, you don't bite the hand that feeds you, you try to take care of it. You take care of your business that way, and the customers will take care of you if you take care of them.
As of December 15, 2022, we had a pricing change and product like one of these, then it looks like one of these. It will have been printed before that's the case, that form is still completely valid. It's just the pricing itself is outdated. With pending paperwork, our biggest chunk right now that we are dealing with are fee discrepancies. We started telling everybody about it on social media, our website, it was in magazines as well, back in the fall around October or so. Understandably though, there's still some people who didn't see the memo, aren't on social, aren't on the website. So if you do talk to anybody and they aren't aware of the fee short or any price changes or anything like that, be sure to let them know, and then hopefully that'll help us out. For a list of all of our most up-to-date prices, be sure to go to ukcdogs.com/registration. Once you're there, there's going to be a PDF form, and it'll have a list of every product and service we currently offer here in registration and its current prices. If you notice on that form that any of the prices listed are different than what is listed on your application, be sure to go by the prices on the form itself, not on your application, because the one on the website will be the most accurate price.
And welcome back to the Midnight Mayhem of the UKC. Jamie Estep. This is Steve Burkholder. We have out on the hounds back of the cast wins, and that is Mr. Rick Stretch, him, and we're glad. I'm not going to waste any time. He's got another winner for us, so Rick.
Billy's Carb, handled by Mike Ream.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Tell us a little bit about
Carb here, treed 2. He brought 150 or 175 on the first coon, and then get him back treed in, but I got him treed in, and he had the coon at the end, and we walked a lot of the rest of the hunt off. 6 from where we were originally.
All right, so you went up to the Millwood Club, I believe.
Yes.
And you're in Cast 1, so I think that Cast 1 went up there. Tell us a little bit about your dog. What's his style? How's he get?
Dog with Bill Axford, and then Ronnie Armstrong started. I hunt together a lot and put a lot of hours into him. He's quick, he's accurate, he's more of an ambush style at times, but typically once he parks, he's got the meat, and that's what I really like about him the most, obviously.
Okay. Sire and dam?
So his sire is Willie.
Oh, okay.
And his dam is a female called Expediting Daisy. She's a nice female. She's, I think, 2-time Michigan State champion. Super nice female.
So, Mike, you're from Michigan as well?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. So you're one round closer to winning the World Hunt.
Yeah.
Now you're standing here, you're not too nervous, I guess, but...
Well, I mean, on the outside.
On the outside?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
What kind of preparation are you going to do to make sure you win the next round tomorrow night?
Get some sleep, and get him fed, get him rested, and come back, hoping for some more luck.
So is the owners down here this weekend or no?
Not yet. He told me I got to get him to the final 3, and then he'll make a trip down to get some pictures with me.
I wouldn't let him in. Well, congratulations to you, Mike.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You bet.
All right. Well, we're kind of hearing a familiar name here, Willie. So I know at least 2 Willie pups are in. Looking at the card, he done his thing. And again, we're at that 2 coon score. And so you kind of took a deeper look at the card. You see anything happening there?
Well, it goes back to they scored on 3 and he scored on 2 of them. And, I can tell you this. I know Tracy well, have competed against him for a lot of years. He lives about an hour and a half north of where I was at. And one thing I will say, he always hunts a good one. And, I know Mike, having competed against Mike, Mike knows how to get one ready. This is a good tandem, a good pair. And, again, there's a lot of circle trees on this cast.
This is a competition. You win, but win scoring more coons, right?
Most of the time.
Most of the time. Right, that's a good idea.
Yeah, that's Bruce.
All right. With another winner, we've kind of... And this is High Dollar Whiskey, handled by Steve Basham. I knew this would be fun. I knew this would be fun.
Not
Owned
with
by
you,
Bruce
Rick.
Marks. So, I don't know. Where do we want to go here? What do you want to talk about?
You're the host.
What do you want to talk about? Tell us.
It was pretty cut and dry. We cut yards right out of the truck, loaded up on it, had first and first on it. Another dog treed another 300 yards after his first one and loaded up on another one. And then he had a hole in the ground and then treed another coon at the very end of the hunt that we didn't have to tree him in on, and that was pretty much it.
You guys scored on 3 or 4. Is that how that was? But seen 8. It looked like to me on the scorecard.
They were setting up whenever they 3 or 4 more setting up around the bean field, and he was sitting in there treed with another one. So.
How long you had this dog?
I've had him at my house for about 1.5 to 2 years.
Oh, okay. So you know the ins and outs on him.
Oh yeah.
So you come up here from another event this week.
Yeah.
Where you struck out like what, 7 or 8 times or something?
Something
I
like
don't know.
that. Come on now, Rick.
But I saw today that you made your post and you were jumping in the truck and headed this way.
So we
for
were
the World Hunt.
We were at Super Stakes and got a couple early round wins, but couldn't pull the late rounds. So I got out of the woods at Illinois and drove straight up here to hunt Buddy in the World Hunt.
And here you are, one round closer to winning. Right, he's not going to let you. He's not going to let you go all the way through.
I don't know that Bruce will do that.
What's that?
I don't know that Bruce will do that.
No, but you need to recognize Mark, too.
Oh, 100%. So Mark actually, Mark got him in at the qualifier. I hunted a different dog, and so I needed help because I had too many dogs that were qualified. And so I got Mark to help me, and he actually is the one that got him qualified at Portland.
So you hunted him at the zones?
No, he hunted him
Mark
at the
hunted him
zone.
at the zone.
Yeah.
All right. It's hard to keep on track of all this
Yeah,
stuff
man,
here. When
I'm telling you,
need
everywhere.
Yeah. A little bit about him. Just tell us a little bit about him and we'll cut.
He's not stylish. He's not the fastest. He's just the same. Brains more than probably I do.
Shouldn't have said that out
don't
loud.
say that. But no, he's just, honestly, he is a pleasure. He grabs everybody's heart. That's why they're here. Heart, and he changes people's lives. 100%.
That's awesome. That's all. This team right here. This is a thumbs up to all you guys.
You can't do it alone.
Went in tonight, and they were winning.
Yep, she's been working him on the bench. She's been working him on the bench and getting him ready for. Obviously, he got in it. He won the duels year before last, and she's been working him on the bench and doing all that. So it takes a team.
Sure.
Definitely does.
All right, team. Good seeing you all.
All
We'll
right.
see you tomorrow night around 5 o'clock.
Yes,
Be back
sir.
Here.
Thank you, Rick.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rick.
You bet.
All right. Well, that's congratulations. I see some West Virginia folk in that picture, and that makes me proud of those guys for Mark getting him through at Portland, and then them really saying all about the team effort. And we're seeing that even in the winners tonight. And Steve and I have already had an opportunity to look at the scorecard, and again, scoring on 2 coons. He got the big end of the first one, but then he went in. He probably got maybe a little bit fourth strike or recut there. Had another coon treat. So what do you see, man?
You know, he scored on 2 out of 3 coons that they treat or whatever, but, you know, hey, you know what I seen in this cast? You know, brings a lot of memories from me over the years of this World Hunt. You know, it's a team, it's an effort, you know, like they shared on Mark getting them through. And now they're here tonight and they're 1 win closer. And it's exciting to see that family atmosphere.
Yeah.
And I can tell you, we've seen that a lot here this weekend already. We have some youth that are hunting here this weekend. And it's exciting to see that. It just, you know, that's probably what stands out to me on this. And they have a good dog. I mean, they won pretty consistent with them.
And here we are again. Rick's wanting the light.
Well, I bet the crowd's tired of hearing you and Bert. Hank, and he's owned by Jack Bingham and Devin Williams and handled by Devin. And I met a pretty good attitude about their chances this weekend, and here stands Devin with a first round cast.
When we cut loose, blue dog in the cast, she treated a coon. Her dog had left, and they had a coon, and he went in there about 350 yards farther down the fence line and got treed, had a coon. Actually seen a coon with my thermal, went in to squall it down, and it was another coon was coming out of the tree when we walked in, or when I went into it. So cut after that, and he got in a cornfield and spent another hour and 20 minutes in a cornfield. Scored a couple circle trees and a couple other coon, and then right at the end of the hunt, the blue dog treed a coon. 5 minutes left, she got treed. Walked in, had a coon. I was getting beat.
5 minutes to go.
Looked at my Garmin, and he's 40 yards from. Loads up on a tree, and I treat him on the.
Holy cow! That had to be.
We went in, and the judge found my coon for me right away.
Yeah, great.
Yep.
So you guys scored on, sounds like 4 or 5.
Five,
maybe?
I think. Yep.
Okay. All right. So we all can see that he's a red bone. Tell us a little bit about him.
He's just a good old coon dog. I've done a lot of women with him. He's nothing flashy. He just goes out and trees coon. He knows when the 2 hours is going to be up. Rooster.
Okay. All right. And how old is he?
He just turned 8.
All right. So you and Jack have been partners on him for how long?
We got him when he was a year old.
First time this far in the world hunt, or?
This far, yep. I made it in 2020 to the top 100, and we didn't have any luck the first night, yep.
Okay. So now you're one step closer.
Yep.
Have you heard how Jack's done, or?
Nope. I know he's on his way back.
Okay. All right. You're one step closer to win this world hunt with a red bone. How's that feel? It's awesome. I can tell you how it feels. It's awesome.
Yeah,
That's
we'll see how tomorrow night goes.
Yeah, so how many red bones was in the hunt tonight? I think
2.
you told me last night when we
2.
met up. 2.
Yep.
All right. All right. Well, congratulations,
Thank you.
man. Tickle for you.
Thank you.
All right. There you have it. A red bone wins this round.
Yeah, and the cool thing about that is you can tell he's knows his dog, but he was out this morning. I'm pretty sure he was the guy that I talked to this morning, was out walking his dog early, taking care of him, getting him fed, doing the things that you're supposed to do to win this hunt. And so congratulations. And that trees the second coon, treeing those 2 coons.
You know, I'm not saying he caught a break because he didn't, because the dog treated a coon right at the walking into that, you know, the joy of whoever was hunting the other dog, scoring that coon that puts you in the lead. And, you know, literally with just a few seconds left to go in the hunt, he trees him on a locate and has to have a coon to win that cast, the second coon.
Yeah.
You know.
And you gotta know that. I think they said that dog is he 8, and they got him when he was a year old. So there's a lot of history with those 2 guys. I mean, you know, it really meant something to him today to make sure his dog was okay. I mean, he's working his dog. And so it's kind of cool to see that happen. 8-year-old dog, the history that they have together. But here we go. We got another cast win in. So, Rick, tell us what you got.
Well, we're back again with another winner, and I'm standing here with Bushwhacking Sadie, handler Chase Blevins, and Jeremy Kidd and Mike Hardwick are the owners on this dog. Well, Chase, tell me a little bit about your hunt tonight.
Nothing too much to say about it. Just treed the only coon that we scored on. After that, just had a bunch of trees that we really couldn't shine, just so tall, and the canopy was so thick. Other than that, I mean, she had a coon after the hunt was over, but
Scored on her coon.
I think it was about 10, 12 minutes in.
Oh, early then.
Yep.
And then kind of had an uneventful night the rest of the night then.
Yep. And then after that, we just made a bunch of circle trees and just couldn't hardly shine any
Did
of
she
them.
make a few trees herself?
Yep. She made, let's see, 2. And then after the end of the hunt, she had another one, coon to herself.
All right. How long have you?
So I got her in at the Bryant RQE. It was actually the first cast that I had hunted her in, and then took her to Pro Classic a couple weeks later, got in the final. After that, she kind of just, I'll be honest with you, about 3 or 4 weeks ago, if you'd have told me that we would.
Of August.
Yeah, so the month of August was pretty rough on us, but you know we've come out swinging here. And
I'm convinced that the month of August is the roughest time in our country. I'll tell you.
I'm definitely convinced on that too, especially the autumn oak scores that we've seen, and the dog work that I seen out of the 16 and the final 4 on that. So.
All right, tell me a little bit about her when you're hunting her at
home. Nothing too crazy. I mean, it ain't no all night affair. We make 2 or 3 quick drops, coons, whatever you want to call it, and go to the house. 5, 6 nights a week max. Nothing too crazy. Just try to keep her limbered up and in shape.
She's out of what?
Bushwhacker,
okay.
And just an old female that we've got around Newcastle. So.
Okay, all right. So you won the first round of the world hunt.
Yep.
Win 3 more rounds, you're the world champion.
I'm a nervous wreck, Dad. If I told you I wasn't nervous, I'd think something was wrong.
What about the co-owners? What about them? Are they nervous?
They are happy.
I bet.
They are super happy and stoked about it.
I'm telling you, it's a good feeling. It's a great feeling to be right where you're at right now.
It is.
All right, Chase. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks,
Congratulations on your win. We'll see you tomorrow night around 5 o'clock.
Thank you.
All right. Well, congratulations to Chase and that crew. They're one of the casts, one coon, 175. But like we said, the most important information. So
he was one of the 2-3 dog casts that we had here, and he won a really tough cast. Yeah. Not that they all aren't tough, but the dogs that he hunted against tonight, I think anybody that's relevant in the coon hunting world would tell you that the 3 dogs are very talented hounds. But that just goes to show when you get in a spot, dogs may not go the direction that you want them to go to. And to his point, to your point, Jamie, she was able to score on 1 coon. She obviously, her record speaks for herself. Yeah. They've won everywhere with her, and she scores on 1 coon and wins that cast.
Yeah, you just what happened in this cast, but sometimes just getting the dog to where you can hear the dog or score the dog. If a dog goes this way and you can't hear your dog, but that's important as well. So again, here we got another cast.
Cast number 8 winner right here, and this is the Bush Bandit, and he was handled by Mike Nisley. And I'm standing here with Jeremiah this evening. Jeremiah, you went out on the cast with him?
Yes, sir.
So you were the backup handler for Mike?
Yes, sir.
All right. Tell us a little bit about the hunt tonight.
We had a good hunt. We scored on 2 coons. He made 3 trees and found 1 of his coons.
So it looked like you guys had a tie score towards the end there. Maybe both of you had 150 on the cast?
Yep.
And you guys won out on the tiebreaker then?
Yes, sir.
So you only scored on the 2 coons? Is that what we're hearing?
Yep.
Okay. All right. See any setting up or anything like that? Or
we did not.
How far did you have to go tonight?
Went about an hour.
Okay. All right. Tell me a little bit about this dog style and what's he out of?
He's out of Bushwhacker, and his bottom side goes back to Neosho River Rudy.
Okay. A little bit about his style. When you guys are up in northern Indiana, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. A little bit about his style?
He's a lower end strike dog.
He's a good looking sucker, I'll say that.
He'll get treed quick.
Okay.
He's good about having coon.
All right. How many times did he tree tonight?
He made 3 trees.
3 trees, 2 circles, and a plus.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So you guys have won the first round.
Yes, sir.
3 more rounds, and you got a world champion.
That's right.
Yeah. Good luck. We'll see you back here at 5 o'clock tomorrow night.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. There you go, guys, another winner.
Now, we want to say congratulations to this dog, and I'll kind of let you break that card down. But one of the things that I think we need to mention and say congratulations, and we've talked about here in rodeo, with probably more than anybody sitting here, I think we need to give some props to Bushwhacker as well and the sires tonight. So tell us what you see.
Absolutely, and to your point, you know, Alan mentioned it earlier in front of the crowd before they went out. He had 6 pups here competing, and I know this is at least 2 of them that have made it on through the top 20. So, you know, kudos to Tyler and Justin and Steve Davenport, who he owns them with. It's got to be exciting for him. You know, again, this is a rare cast here, I guess you could say, where both of them they took procedure, and in this case, but it looks like that with the dog that they was tied with. So PW is how you can get them. They scored on 2, and you know, luckily they was able to, you know, the tiebreaker worked in their favor.
Right. Most important information on that card is what we've been saying, the CW. That's that's the most important thing. Yeah. Now, I just want to report to our viewers right now, I think that was our 14th cast in. So we're still got some information to give you. So stay with us, buckle down with us, finish the ride out with us, because we got several more coming. Now, I've kind of taken some notes as we've been walking through this. You just mentioned Bush. So great kudos to there. We've heard from at least one. I know I've heard Fred Bear mentioned already. So some of these dogs that we got these reports on is winning. But I want to take us back to our conversations that we've had tonight. And one of those is routine. You know, a lot of people don't think travel, but if you've traveled to any amount of hunting, some dogs travel better than others. And excuse me. And when you think about travel, important parts, because these dogs are athletes. And so did you have any special routines when you were traveling?
Especially when I was hunting one in the hunts, a lot is I would judge it by rest areas, because you'll rest and stuff like that, and I disciplined myself, but I had a couple really good partners that was older gentlemen, and you know, it was good for them to get out of the truck and stretch their legs and walk around, and that really got me to thinking that, you know, you think about that dog is, you know, same thing, you're riding down the road, and just let them stretch out, clean out if they want to or whatever, maybe give them a drink of water or whatever, and face it, I mean, every dog is different. Some dogs can handle travel well. I've hunted them where you load them up and they go to sleep and you don't hear nothing from them till you get there. And other ones are just a nervous wreck till you get there. And you know, I think it's a lot on when you're consistent with what you do with one. Usually you can overcome a lot of that.
Yeah, I think if we were speaking to viewers tonight that are maybe new to our sport, I think you would really encourage you to think about our partner, Rick Stretch, that's with us tonight. Just this summer, he spoke at the West Virginia State Youth Hunt, And he did a whole segment on traveling, of taking care of your dog, thinking about your dog food, thinking about water, thinking about even carrying water on a cast for your dog, especially if you're hunting double headers, thinking about making sure your dog has energy from round A to round B. And I probably didn't plan tonight to give him that much props, but he did a good job. And I would just encourage you to think about travel when it comes to coming to these events, because the last thing you want is to come and your dog not be ready to compete. That just defeats the whole purpose. Let me take us to another question tonight. How important do you think consistency is in a dog? We talked about one dog said she has highs and she has lows. Of course, she was winning tonight, but you'd even mentioned some dogs that you've hunted that they were consistent, and I just think probably one of the best dogs that is that he. I think you see consistency playing into the wins at these events over the realm of.
Number one is probably the one can go out, but here cast wins, and you're hunting every time. You're going to have to win, and so it's when the ones that win the title. He said that I don't tree dog. A lot of areas. Tree dog, or you may, but and hey, it's them one of working through when the chips are always the state fight through that adversity.
Person, that's hunted his whole life and has looked at a lot of is one that don't put a lot of minus on the board. He that's important, and something that you said. Each round these dogs advance, they're probably advancing against dogs that are consistent as well. Those top competitors. These are not, most of the time these dogs are not just fly by the night. They have won to get here.
Absolutely, and you can see by the last cast that we just talked about. I mean, it come down to a tiebreaker.
Yeah, we're hearing it's coming down to that last tree, that last coon. That's what you got.
Well, you can take one look at him and tell what I got. I got Bad Habits Preacher Man, and his picture has been all over since the Tournament of Champions. You made the semifinals of the Tournament of Champions.
Yes,
didn't
made
you,
top 6. Yes, sir.
He's owned and handled by Caleb Griffin. Great guy. Looks like he scored 400.
And on we turned loose right off the get-go after went down the line, everything getting struck in. All dogs got struck our tree within 100 yards of each other, all split. 3 of them we found a coon. 1 of them was a circle. I recut him.
All 4 of them on split trees?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. I mean, within 100 yards of each other, just down the line. We recut off that, and I got struck and treed again. And after we scored another tree, went to him. He had another coon. And went to recut him again. And I got a first tree on another tree. It was a circle tree, so that put me at 400 plus. And that kind of wound out the hunt. So it was an awesome one. Like I said, one of the best casts I ever been on.
So most of us know the story up here around the desk and stuff, but tell us a little bit about this dog.
I got him when he was 5 months old, and he's just been a blessing to me. Like when he and I went to work that first year, I hunted him 362 nights. When you got a 4 or 5 month old dog that's treeing coons, just wanting to run something.
There's only 365 nights
I know.
in a year.
We hunted through a tornado. Believe me, I know it. But there's something about it when the bug bites you and you got a young dog working. I put the boot leather to him, and you know, he's just been a blessing to me. He started winning, and it's been a good ride. I'll probably never own another one like him, but I sure hope I do. I got a pup with him, or off of him on the ground right now. It's 3.5 months old, so that's going to be my new fall project.
So he's a crossbred?
Yes, sir.
Tell us a little bit about that.
He's 3/4 Walker, 1/4 blue tick. He is off Sambo and a Walker female off Stylish Frankie. Okay. So Sambo was a half blue tick, half Walker, and that's what he's off of. That's how he's bred.
And how did you come to get him, Mike?
My buddy Mark Sandifer, he lives on the mountain rest down there below me. Him and Elliot Schuler, they were partners in on it, and Mark had him, and I went up there and seen him. I seen the looks; he looked like a big beagle. You know, when he was a puppy. I was like, well, you know, that dog's coming home with me. And I turned him loose that night, just take him, just get out of the house, something to do. And I mean, he treated a coon. I mean, the first time he'd ever been out from me, and it was luck, because he'd want to run anything that run from him. You know, he'd run deer, bear, fox. It didn't matter to him. He just wanted to run something, and that was fine with me. I let him run whatever he wanted to for the first year, and then he just broke himself off when I started shooting coons out to him. And a couple trips to the White River out there, and here we are.
Awesome hunting. Yes. Awesome hunting. Awesome place to train a young dog out there.
I love it. I go every year. It's a phenomenal place.
So what's happened between the TOC and now?
Nothing.
Okay. You got qualified.
Got qualified and hunted him a little bit, not too much. It's been hot this summer, really bad. And just been working with a pup and got him out right before the zones and kind of hunted him up, got some weight off of him, and here we are. He's you don't have to keep this dog hunted up. He stays himself.
Okay.
You know, the more sleep you get him, the better he's going to look.
So Caleb, 3 more wins.
Three more rounds.
And he'll be a world champion.
3 more. That's the plan.
That is sure it is.
That's why we're here.
I hear you. Man, congratulations.
So
good
much,
to see you again.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
There you have it, guys. A familiar face.
Yes, it is. It is a very familiar face. Now, I want to talk to our viewers for just a second. You might not realize it, but you have been looking at Sambo all night long, right? His name's Sambo, did I get that right? Preacher Man. I was talking about his daddy, Preacher Man. You've been looking at Preacher Man all night long. Right here on the front of the cover is a picture of Preacher Man. And so you have been checking him out all night long. And as Rick said, he is a very familiar. I want to point out something. No. Grand Night, which means Hall of Fame. And so that dog is at least, I'm thinking, 50 cast wins to receive that title of Hall of Fame. So that's pretty special in itself. Take away everything else that he has won. Again, it shows consistency. So tell us what you see.
Well, you know, they score on 4 coons. And I know it's a repeated cliche tonight, but he trees 2 of them. He has 75 and 125 on both of them. So, you know, one thing that stands out to me is at some point a strike point opened back up. You know, regardless if I don't see that anybody had withdrew from there or not anywhere, but somehow the strikes opened back up, and you know, I mean, it looks to me like 2 of the other dogs in the cast each scored a coon alone. He had some really tough competition. Yeah. He had a dog in the cast tonight that made the Final 4 of the World Hunt in Tennessee last year. So in the Hawk Dog, so you know these guys are, you know, this is again, he scores top on level. 2. Yep, he scores on 2. They each score on 1, and he advances. And again, this is a 6-year-old dog. He's obviously consistent. If he's in the Hall of Fame, he's a very, very consistent cast winner. You don't rack up that many cast wins on luck, I can tell you that.
No, and one thing he said that that I found very interesting was we seen a little bit ago, I think it was Devin talking about his red bone. And then here we're talking that he got Preacher Man when I think we said 5 months old. Yep. And he talked about something that I'm sure all of us have experienced, and probably some of you have experienced, is hunting that 5-month-old pup and being bit by the bug. I think every coon hunter understands that a young dog that's doing it and gets you excited, it will make you get off the couch. And I can just imagine how excited they were, but now to see him 6 years later doing what he's doing, accomplished what he's accomplished, there's got to be an element of smiling and pride there. I mean, you're smiling right now thinking about it. You're probably thinking about one that maybe made you get off the couch.
Well, I'll have to say that for me, that was a dog that put me on the map. And I remember when he was talking about hunting 362 nights. I know I didn't hunt that many in a year, but I do know that I hunted 2 different stretches where I hunted between 92 and 94 nights straight, and worked a full-time job. And I'm sure that Caleb does too. And there was nights that I remember one night in particular, kind of a funny story. But, dead tired, out hunting, 1 o'clock in the morning. Fell asleep at the base of the tree, and the sun's coming up, and I'm still sleeping at the base of that tree, and the dog's sleeping beside me. So, it's just when that bug hits and you get one that's doing it, it's that work that you put in on them. There's a bond. You can see that Caleb and Preacher Man have a bond.
Oh, yeah.
And them are the kinds that will make a big run.
Yeah.
Big run. And it's just it's good to win these type of casts.
Yeah. Now, what dog was asleep beside of you?
My junior dog.
Your junior dog.
Yep.
It
was at daylight.
It was at daylight. I wonder if your wife was missing you.
I wasn't married back then.
You wasn't married then?
I hunted probably a little too much back then for that. So.
All right. Well, I think we got another winner in from what I'm hearing. So, Rick, tell us what you got.
We got another winner here and another familiar face with Rick Strouser, and he's hunting a dog that's co-owned by several guys, Randy Smith, Troy Smith, and Rick and Gordy Durnick. And Rick, congratulations on your win tonight, but it's no surprise. This is a familiar place for you to be when it comes to the UKC World Hunt. Tell us a little bit about your success here in the last few years.
Well, 16, I won it with this dog's mother.
Which was Biffy Sue?
Biffy Sue. 17, I took Baby, and we were in Georgia and got reserve. And 18, I come here, and when Willie won it with J.R. Gray, and I got 3rd.
Okay. Surprise. No surprise at all.
And 2 years ago, I got in the top 20 with this dog's father. Would have been bank, $1 million bank.
All right. Tell us a little bit about your cast tonight.
Well, it was right out of the truck. We treated coon. I struck for 75. Nick Heimel, he struck for 100. They run a coon track right out of the cornfield, and she treated for 100 and a quarter. And a young boy backed me for 75, and I had 200, and he had 150 or 100 and a quarter, and we never treated another coon after that.
But you made some trees. I seen the scorecard. You made a few trees.
Yeah, I made a tree right almost towards the end there, and I found heat in the tree. I just couldn't get the thing to look at me. And the boy that had 100 and a quarter, he had a coon tree there. Well, a tree, and he couldn't. The 2 got him.
Oh, okay.
And he took 100 and a quarter minus, and that put him at 0. And she was treed back at the end of the hunt when the hunt was over, right beside the truck.
Tell us a little bit about her style.
She's about like her daddy. She's a wide hunter. She likes to be by herself, She normally has a coon, but the coons ain't down tonight. It was slow, you know.
So you guys have got, and when I say you guys, I'm talking about the Randy Smith crew. You guys had 3 of them coming in here this weekend?
Yeah, we had Gurley, which is out of Rock River Sun and Baby, and we had Bertha, which is out of Biffy Sue, and a dog out of Track Girl named Louie.
So I talked to Randy, I don't know, a week and a half ago, and he was telling me that the young ones are out here this weekend, and maybe not the most seasoned or maybe not the best shot of dogs that he thought he had. That didn't make it to here, but the young ones did, and this one here's won the first round. And headed into tomorrow night.
There's two that's not here, which we wanted them here, and they didn't make it. But
So what are you going to do between now and tomorrow night?
Nothing.
Yeah, it's just old hat with you, isn't it? It's just old
Pretty
hat.
much.
Well, Rick, congratulations. Hope you guys do some more winning.
I appreciate it.
And I haven't seen Randy this evening, but we'll certainly see him tomorrow.
He's sleeping.
All right, man.
Thank you.
Be back here at 5 o'clock tomorrow evening.
All
there you
right.
go, another winner.
All right. Well, congratulations to that team coming out of Pennsylvania, Randy Smith and that whole crew. And I mean, we've been talking a lot about the consistency of the hounds, but Rick shows us there consistency of a handler. I mean, I'm sure there's still maybe a degree of nerves or nervousness, but he's probably seen a few things happen out there. So, hey, we are a team here.
Yeah, and I can tell you, Rick, Randy, that whole crew, they're no strangers. Female that won the World Hunt in 2000. Wasn't she a finalist or advanced pretty far in 2018? They brought 3 of them here this weekend. Obviously, this is one that advances. And hey, she scored the only coon.
That's right.
You know, and that's going to advance you. So absolutely, it wouldn't shock me if they would make a run at this deal too.
All right, I think we've already heard we got another one on deck. So Rick, what we got?
We got another winner, and we got another bushwhacker. And Garrett, congratulations, man. This is about, I don't know, the second or third bushwhacker hound we've had up here. And they all look a little bit similar, for sure. Garrett, tell us a little bit about your cast tonight.
We had a pretty good hunt. He had a den right out of the truck for 150. Like 2 or 3 minutes in my shine time, I seen his eye. And I called the judge back, and you know how it goes. He couldn't get him to look again. And I recut him. And he had a coon in there for 175. And then I cut him again, and he was, I don't know, 400 or so through there, and it was a tough break. But he had 3, went up 1 tree. You know, it ran into the tree he was treed on, and we just voted that it didn't touch, and the tree he was on was a legit circle tree. So we circled it up, and I won my cast at 175.
Yeah. Now, how long did you say you've had him?
I've been hunting about 1.5 years now.
All right. So I hunted with this dog, I think, at the last zones last year. And Alan Carlson had him then. And he looked pretty good that night, but we both got beat by a Randy Smith dog, that lady dog. Yeah. Tell us a little bit about his style around the house.
Truly, he's just a coon treer, you know. We'll tree him around you like a squirrel dog and sink in that country and bushwhack him, you know. But his strong point is he's good about having them coons.
So what's your 1 round closer to winning the world hunt?
Yeah, man.
For sure.
Yes, sir.
And so you're excited about it, I'm sure. And between now and then, what are you going to do to make sure you get the next win down?
Truly, I'm going to go drop my buddy Logan off and go home and go hunt until the sun comes up. So.
And you're going to hunt him till the sun comes up?
Absolutely.
And he can take that?
Absolutely.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations, Garrett.
Yeah,
appreciate you coming in. Good luck tomorrow night. There you have it, another bushwhacker, guys.
All right. Well, we're hearing that name quite a bit under bushwhacker. This dog, I am pretty sure this dog won his cast at Autumn Oaks as well at the satellite club that I was taking care of as Master Hounds. I'm pretty sure he won his cast. And so what did we see on the card tonight, Steve?
Well, again, they scored on, you know, it looks to me like they scored on 1 coon, and it's the coon that he treed. And, you know, unfortunately, it looks to me that there's a bunch of marks on the card, but they're not the marks that we like.
Yeah.
And it happens. You know, there's obviously a young dog in the cast, but I can tell you on this buggy whip dog, owned by my good friend Gerald Keegan. This
Which
dog
is no stranger to winning himself.
No, I mean, this dog's mother is Letting Loose Lila, which won the 2014 World Hunt. And that's one thing that I will say that we are seeing tonight is there's a lot of dogs advancing that are either directly off of world champions or granddaughters or grandsons. It's pretty impressive, honestly, Jamie. I've been doing this now for a few years, and I have to say, I'm going to say we're going to probably set a record tonight on dogs that are going to be in this top 27. You know, obviously Bushwhacker, I think this is his 3rd or 4th pup. He had 6 of them in. That's just got to be absolutely thrilled with that. And Garrett's no stranger to the winner's circle. This dog's no stranger to the winner's circle. I'd say this dog can make a
deep run. Yep. We've already got another winner, and they're moving in quick. So, Rick, who do you have?
I got the winner of Cast 16, and it's Rogers Ruby Jewel, owned by Anita and Roy Rogers and handled by Roy. Roy, tell us a little bit about your cast tonight.
We had a pretty good cast. We got in some coons, and she stayed by herself all night. Scored on 2. Scored on 1 on one of them pyramid power line.
Oh, one of the metal towers? You don't have that happen very often.
I tell you what, when I seen walked out there, I thought, oh no.
I think one time in my career did I ever see one up there like that.
But she had the coon up there.
All right, how many coons did you guys score on your cast?
We scored on 4. And she scored on 2.
2 by herself?
2 by herself.
Well, I suppose on the tower she was probably by herself.
Yep. Charlie 7 on top and Super Scoop on bottom. And my Ruby female, which I had to put down back in May, and she was directly out of Charlie 7 and Oakwoods Diamond.
Okay. All right. Which some of these dogs you're talking about are up here in northern Ohio then?
Yes,
the Oakwoods part.
Oakwood stuff, yeah.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit about her style.
She'll get deep, but she'll hunt as she goes. If I got, well, the first coon she treated tonight, she treated behind the other dogs. They blowed out. She treated the coon 100 yards.
A bit tougher down there than it is up here.
Oh, yeah. We hot and dry down there. It's a little cooler up here.
What part of Arkansas are you from?
Southwest. Down there in Murfreesboro.
Okay. All right. Very good. So you've won the first round. Now, how many times have you been to the finals of the world?
This is my 6th time.
6 times?
Yep.
And how many times have you won the first round?
Once.
One other time?
Yeah, one other time. Her mother placed 12th in 2017 when they had it down in Alberton, Georgia.
Okay. All right. So she's got the capability of getting you in there.
She's got the background. And she can do it. We just got to get the breaks.
Yeah.
Just like anybody else.
Sure. Yeah, it's going to take some breaks.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to take some breaks. She?
5.
5. Okay. Well, she's seasoned then. You know her and she knows
you. Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, I raised her from a baby.
Yeah. Roy, congratulations on your victory tonight.
Appreciate
We're going to meet
man.
you back here about 5 o'clock tomorrow night.
Okay.
Best of luck to you, pal.
All right, thank you.
There you have it, an English female this winter.
That's a awesome win, because if you know Roy at all, he's always packing a really good English dog, and so I was very pleased to see that. And also Scott Bates today, when he was talking, kind of in the speech with the dinner that great friendships, and many of us that know Roy and know the little bit of his history. Roy lost his wife this summer, and so Roy, and to your family, our prayers are with you. And man, just a great job there, and so we're very proud of you tonight. And so Steve, take us on a journey tonight into
Coon, and she obviously. And one other, it looks to me like, two of the other dogs each treat a coon apiece. She had some really tough competition in her cast.
Yeah.
Obviously, and this is something that the Charlie 7 dog was at in her background, and Annie and the Oakwood stuff. That's all stuff that we hunted with a lot in our backyard, and a lot of good dogs. Yeah. A lot of good dogs. They did a lot of winning with Charlie 7. I hunted with Charlie 7 a bunch. Hunted with the Annie female. Matter of fact, that was some of the early dogs I hunted with in my competition career. Yeah. And it's not shocking to me that she's here and is advancing.
Yeah.
Well,
already Rick is getting restless. I'm hearing him grumble there a little bit. He's got another winner, so let's see who he's got.
I got the winner of Cast 25, and it's Tank's Hardwood Crook, and handled by Eric Koss and owned by Adam Roach. And I'm standing here with Eric. We're going to talk to you a little bit here, Eric. Tell us a little bit about your hunt tonight.
We had a good guide, good judge, put us in a lot of coons. I think we scored 5 coons tonight. It's all like 7 or 8.
How far did you guys go?
We went about 45 minutes north of here.
Okay, all right. And give me a little bit of rundown about how your dog did on the cast.
He done real good tonight. He got in there early, got first on a couple coons, and from there we just kind of sat back and let it play out. Coasted on, put it on cruise control.
So how long have you been hunting the dog?
I've been hunting Crook about 6 months now. We really started pushing him in the competitions about 6 months ago, early part of the summer.
Where did you get qualified at?
We qualified out of Rayburn County for the RQE, and the zones we hunted out of Clarksville, Georgia.
Okay, all right. And Adam, you own the dog.
I do.
You found you a pretty good team right here.
Oh, yeah.
So how long have you owned the dog?
So he was born at the house.
Okay, all right.
He was born, he's off my old stud dog, and Thomas's only reason female.
All right. And how did you and Eric come about to get this?
We actually met. I usually coon hunt by myself, and I met him on a piece of
Let me say he was hunting in one of your spots.
Nah, up the road a little, but yeah, close enough. And it was about 10 years ago, and we hit it off, and we've been hunting together ever since.
Yeah.
So
How old again is he?
he just turned 2.
Okay, so he's one of the youngest ones we got in here, to win tonight.
Yes, sir.
So tell me, Eric, what's your plans between now and 5 o'clock tomorrow evening?
We're going to go home. We're going to put Crook up, get some rest, and hopefully see you again tomorrow night.
Is this going to be the team all the way through?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Wouldn't change a thing?
Nope. He likes the competition. I'm a pleasure hunter. I'm a trainer and a pleasure hunter. He likes the competition, so I'll trade him and he can hunt them.
And this is working well right now.
So far, so good.
3 more rounds, you've won the world hunt. Huh? What do you think?
Lost for words right now.
Sure. Hey, congratulations to you guys.
I appreciate it.
We'll see you back here tomorrow night about 5 o'clock.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
There you go, guys.
All right. Well, one word that jumped out to me in that interview was the word team. I mean, how many times have we heard that? We've probably heard team as many times as we've heard bushwhacker tonight. So congratulations. They got it going on. I mean, one guy likes to competition hunt and train. One guy likes to handle and be in competition. So they got it a pretty good duo. So tell us about the card. This card's got a lot of activity on it.
It does. And one thing that stands out to me from one of the guys that was competing in this cast that's always good to see, who had got beat by 100 by him.
Yeah.
I mean, he obviously won the cast with 550. They score on 5 coons. He has on the card great cast, great judge, and guide.
Yeah.
And it's always awesome to see that. And I want to give a shout out to Seth Ish. He's the one that put it on that card. Doesn't surprise me coming out of him. With what it looks like on the card is boo-boo, and it cost him the cast win.
And I can say this. I look so when already
Cast 3 here, and I got a smiling Trent. And Trent, tell us a little bit about your cast tonight.
So we turned loose in big open timber and thought a coon would win the cast, but we got in coon.
You scored on several coons tonight?
Scored on, I believe, 6 in the cast.
And how many did this dog here have?
3.
3. Off to himself every time?
2 off to himself and a piece of 1.
Okay, all right. So you had Colton Dunlap for your guide and Scott Bates for a judge tonight. How did that all go?
It went perfect.
Okay.
Got in some nice timber, and judging was
fun
and entertaining, of course.
Looking at this hound, and he's in great shape. Looks to be about 3 or 4 years old, and you're standing here telling me he's 8 years old.
He's 8 years old.
How long have you had him?
I've had him for almost 5 years now.
Okay. No surprises then when you guys are working together.
No, sir.
You know what's going to happen.
Yep.
He knows what's going to happen with you.
Absolutely.
So you guys come out of the Portland zone. What'd you do?
Friday night and just got the right break Saturday night. I think I came out with 450.
Okay.
Saturday night. So.
All right. That was one of the bigger zones, or the biggest zone, I'm thinking.
The biggest, I think.
Yeah. So 450 was good enough to get you over here.
Yeah, I think 375 got him in.
A couple more to make it to the finals. All right.
Just if I can get through that next round.
Yeah. One round at a time.
We'll talk about it next.
Yeah. Man, good to see you here. Be back here at 5 o'clock tomorrow evening. We'll send you back out.
All right.
All right, Trent. Thank you so much. Thank you. There you go, guys.
All
good
right.
looking hound right here.
Yeah, and again, he said something that I think you actually set him up Rick to say this or to let him into it is he talked about he'd been with this dog quite a while. There was no surprises. Again, it shows just the consistency. He knows the moves the dogs is going to make, almost maybe before the dog makes the move. And so just what do you see, Mr. Steve? Tell me what you see.
Well, this was another really competitive cast. I mean, it looked to me, or by looking at the card, there's a lot of dogs that had the chance to win this. They scored on 6 coons. Again, that's outstanding. A huge shout out to Colton Dunlap, guide. I mean, I think this is one of the. I think we had one other cast that had scored on 5, maybe 6. But them guys hunt a lot, so he definitely put them in a situation to be able to score on a lot of raccoons. And it looks to me like he just did his thing. It looks they struck one right out of the truck the way it looks and sounded, and he got a piece of it and treat a couple more off to himself. So
yeah. Tonight is we're seeing a lot of hunters coming in and hustling around here and fellowship and being a part. We're down to about, I think on the count, we're at 19 or 20 cast in. So we're getting close to bringing this thing to an end, but we're seeing more come in. And so we're pretty excited tonight. And we got kind of a moment where we're not hearing anything from Rick. And I kind of feel like every time we get this moment, I'm circling you back on something. And some of that is the notes that I'm taking. I want to take us back a little bit into an area that I've never been to, okay? But I've been to a lot of different places. But the one gentleman, I think it was the guy that was hunting Preacher Man, talked about going to the White River. Right. And if you follow anything in the coonhound world, you've heard of.
I've been there one time.
One time.
Explain it unless you go there. Once you go once, you just want to go back.
Yeah.
Dogs really to get in any trouble. But it's just, from that particular night that I hunted it, wasn't even really in a good part of it. But it's a place that I want to go back.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of my friends they're taking their week's vacation.
Really?
To go down there and hunt. I mean, they'll do that before they do other things. So it's and a lot of it is accessible to get to your dogs and stuff. And it's definitely somewhere. It's definitely a bucket list type of thing that you definitely want to do.
Yeah. I've been. All the satellite club out of the Winter Classic that moves into Arkansas. I've been the Master Hounds there a few times, and I think it's maybe an hour away from the White River. It's about as close as I've been to it. We were actually talking about going one year to the White River and chose to go to Mississippi, down into the Delta National, and that was a great experience for me as well, and I loved it. And what was interesting is we went down the week of Thanksgiving to the Delta National, and coming in West Virginia, the leaves were off. We were bare. I mean, it was walk in, look at a coon, and leave. And we get down there the week of Thanksgiving, and it was still completely
leafed out.
And I'm like, man, this ain't wintertime down here. And so I was, you had to work a little bit to find a coon down there, but it was still awesome coming from snow to being pretty chilled and pretty relaxed down there. So have you hunted in that area?
I have. I've actually been down there and hunted when they, at a few hunts.
Okay.
They would hold the truck hunt. Now, it probably wasn't quite where you guys hunted at, but we would go across the river and hunt down and through some of them areas.
Was that at the Isle of Capri or something?
Yeah, and again, I'm going to say it's similar to probably the White River. Probably not. I mean, it's I hunted at the truck hunt down there. This big open country and just a lot of. It's a lot of fun to hunt.
Yeah.
Absolutely a lot of fun to hunt.
Well, we're hearing from the field that we have another cast winner in. So, Rick, who do we got?
Hey, I'm standing here with a young man, and I'm telling you, I'm guessing. I'm standing here with the winner of Cast 4, and it's Backwoods Daisy, and the handler is Isaiah Kane. and the owner is Isaiah and Cheyenne Cummings, and they had a total score of 375 plus tonight. Isaiah, tell us a little bit about your hunt tonight.
Well, it was rough walking, but we treated and had 2 coon and looked good on it.
She had 2 off to herself. Yeah. You had scored on 4.
Yeah.
Isaiah, tell us how the world hunt. Now you need to be smiling about that. That is awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So this is your dog. You've trained this dog.
Yes. Me and my dad together.
Okay. All right. And your partner's with Cheyenne Cummings on her.
Yes.
About how you and Cheyenne got to...
Well, him and my dad became friends, and always being around him, just got to know each other.
So you live out there by Cheyenne?
About an hour from him.
Okay.
Yeah.
How long have you been hunting, Isaiah?
Since I was 3 years old.
Okay.
Started.
And that's
walking
coon
along.
hunting?
Besides this one, I've helped my dad trade 1.
Okay.
Shoot.
All right. Tell us a little bit about how Daisy does out there for you.
Oh, she just likes to just stays by herself and treats coon, and sometimes she backs a dog, but other than that, she just does good and just
so you went
stays
over
out of trouble.
I think you had one of the Dunlap. I think you had Chuck
Dunlap was my guide
you tonight.
Yeah.
All right. What kind of terrain were you in tonight?
It was really rough. It was thick briar patches, and and then in one spot was a bean field where we first dropped.
I probably shouldn't ask this
river
question.
on one side and a big old hill on the other side. It was not good.
My guess is
there
it
was coons, but it was rough walking.
My guess is it was extremely safe for the dogs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So you've won the first round, first time to the World Hunt. I know Alan kind of called you out there at the dinner tonight and introduced you.
Yeah.
Have you talked to Cheyenne since you've won?
I've messaged Jennifer.
Okay. All right. Sure.
Yeah.
Yep. So they'll be calling you tomorrow.
Yeah.
For sure. 3 more rounds, and you could win this World Hunt. How do you feel about it?
Excited.
I know it. I know it. It's got to be a good feeling for you.
Ready for tomorrow night.
Yeah. Well, we're going to kick things off about 5 o'clock tomorrow night, and we want you here.
Sounds good.
All right, Isaiah. Good talking to you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, man. There you go, guys.
All right. That's an exciting one because you just have to smile for all. Getting that Coonhound bloodline's your first world, and I mean we could see history right there of how many more could he win. And I think if you know anything about coonhounds, we've mentioned the White River, the Delta, these dogs that have won world hunts places. I think if you know anything about when you hear that name Cheyenne Cummings, he's got some guys there behind him that knows a little bit as well. So what do you see?
Absolutely. You know, a little bit more in depth on this on Isaiah is he was sharing with some people earlier. This is really his first time away from home, you know, and you know he's
it's a good way to start. Ain't
it is, and I can tell you it's going to ruin him for life because it's the first time here or whatever, and I know in 2000 what my thought process was is I made it to the Final Four, placed 3rd, and I was a young man in my 20s. And I thought, man, you know, this is, I'm hunting a good dog. I'll be back. And
you'll be here tonight. So you'll be here.
Yeah, exactly. So it's excited for him. You know, and the fact that he took her, and, trained her and all that.
We've already got another one back. Rick, who we got there?
We got the winner of Cast 5, and it's handled by Jeff Pedro. Jeff, tell us a little bit about your cast tonight.
Well, we had a pretty good cast right off the bat. 3 dogs. 3 dogs fell treed. I trailed
1 treed on the first turn loose.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
They had actually 1 dog had left there, and I never treed my dog because score these 2 after we'd recut 2 dogs. I tree Well, one dog goes in and gets treed right. We thought they were together. Well, it turned out they were split. I had a coon. We didn't find his coon. And then we scored another dog. He had a circle tree. Then the black dog got treed. He had a coon. And the Walker dog got treed. He had a coon.
And you still haven't made it to your dog?
No, we've already scored mine.
Okay.
I had a coon. The other dog had a circle beside me. But then the black dog trees a coon. So I'm winning with, I got 200. He's got 125. Then the Walker dog trees a coon. He's got 100. I'm trailing in a bean field. I'm thinking, get out of that bean field.
Sounds like to me you're in a coon zoo.
We are. Then the black dog trees another, or the Walker dog trees another coon. But we're in the process. Because I'm on deeper, and luckily when we was going to the black dog, we could hear me treat deeper, and I got him treating. He had a coon. So
I noticed on the scorecard, Jim Samples was your guide, and Jim won the World Hunt years and years back. And I've hunted with Jim up there where you guys have been, and it's paradise hunting up there where Jim goes.
Good hunting.
It's fantastic. Tell us a little bit about how your dog operates. I mean, you didn't get to hear much out of him tonight.
No, he likes to stay by himself, and he's pretty good track dog. He's a trailing type dog, you know. He has his coons when he trees most of the time.
You come out of the Missouri zone?
Came out of the Missouri zone. I live in Kansas. I'm about 2 hours from Sedalia.
So compared to where you hunt this dog at home to what you had tonight, how would you compare that?
It was basically the same type of area. It's bigger. I mean, this country's bigger than what I hunt as far as the sections. You know, we hunt a lot of creeks where there's not a lot of timber, you know, but basically the same thing.
All right, so the dog was probably pretty much at home with what's going on here. How old is this dog?
He's 2-year-old.
He's 2, and what's he off of?
He's off of a Grand Night dog I owned out of Trackman, which is the old timber dog was out of Trackman.
Into the finals?
Never.
Never?
Never been to the finals.
First time here. And more.
Yeah.
And you'll have the world champion.
No. Yeah.
And you.
Yep.
Jeff. Over again.
All right. We'll see you.
Yes, sir.
All right. The one thing that caught my attention on this card as we were sitting here looking at it while Rick was in the interview is this card was a shootout. I mean, there was some couple things could have happened, went either way. We could have had a different winner. Steve, you've had some time to break this card down. What do you see?
Well, they scored on 6 coons, and 3 out of the 4 dogs scored on 2 apiece. And really what it come down to is his strike points. You know, he got struck for 75 on the very first drop, and you know, that's really what ended up you know, wrapping it up for him. But I tell you, looking at this, a thing of significance. Now this is unofficial, but the lefty dog was in his cast tonight, which he was one of the dogs that was in running for the Triple Crown, if I'm not mistaken. And I know that Scar had got beat earlier, which was also one of. Now this is unofficial, but it looks to me like Eric Emery and that whole bunch there with little Ann are probably going to wrap up that Triple Crown. So I guarantee you them guys had a huge interest in it. Was watching the updates tonight. And with Scar and Lefty getting beat, probably going to have Ann unofficially be your Triple Crown winner. So that's got to be exciting. And, you know, that's. And, you know, that 6 Point had an exceptional guide, too.
Yeah, a couple of dogs on this cast. He had to cast win at 350. There was 2 dogs at 300. So, you know, we're learning tonight many times is just a couple different things could have went either way. And you'd already pointed out that the heavier strike was very prevailing.
We've seen that.
We've seen it a couple times.
We've seen it. Yes, we have seen it tonight a couple times.
We've seen that.
On that being really the deciding factor.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Just to give our viewers a report tonight, the best that we can tell, we've got 22 cast in. So we've got 5 setting out that are still hunting. Maybe they're on their way in, we don't know, but we got 5 out. From what I can tell, I don't think we have anybody waiting. So cast winners coming in. Steve, I want to ask you a question tonight. Rick always asks the question, what are these guys, what are you going to do? What are you going to do in these next 24 hours to get ready for that? What do you think these handlers that have won, we know kind of lost tonight? I know, I think I'm a good loser, but we put a lot of time in, spend a lot of money.
Well, it's from the and you know, unfortunately, you know, when we hunt an elimination style of event like this, we know coming in that I mean, really and truly, I know you have a good hound, but your chance of winning is 25%. I mean, 25% of the dogs are going to advance. And people say, well, you know, hunt a good one and that percentage goes up. Well, if you hunt them long enough and hunt enough of these hunts and hunt the right hunts that have tough competition, you know, my belief has always been that if you have a dog that is a 50 to 60% cast winner, you're packing around as good as anyone in the country, because the average is 25%, so you're doubling that average. Now, that's overall, okay? But I can tell you, for me, going to the World Hunt and competing in the finals, you know, I'll give you an idea with my old junior dog, going back to him, he made the finals 5 years. And in them 5 years, only advanced to the top 20 twice.
Yeah.
Okay? And, you know, so, and he was one, you know, obviously the dog meant a lot to me and a lot of others as well. But that just goes to share with you, he was qualified 8 times, made the finals 5 times, but you know, 4 or 3 of them times you're going home early, and it hurts.
Yeah.
It hurts because you hunt and put all that into it, and it's over that quick.
It has to, and I would hope, I know for me as a competitor, is if I'm pushing hard and I lose, sometimes losing will push you just as hard as winning will, and to get back to here when you've tasted, when you've been bit by that bug. And these guys are probably going to go home and they're going to maybe take a break, but maybe they're not. But honestly, I say that to set us up. We're going to get ready to take a break tonight. So I want to remind all of our viewers, 5 casts left. You've stayed with us, you've been with us, and so I just want to say stay with us the rest of the way. I want to remind you, you're watching Midnight Mayhem, the 45th annual UKC Coonhound World. Finishing this out with you, I'm Jamie Eastep, Steve Burkholder. Rick Stretch is out in the field checking out the winners, and we'll see you just in a minute. Well, welcome back to Coonhound World Championships Midnight Mayhem. We're in Mount Gilead, Ohio, a famous place for coon hunting. I'm Jamie Estep. I've been your host tonight along with Steve Burkholder, and Rick Stretch is with us out in the field. We've already just come back off break and heard we got another hound that is in with a cast win. So we're just going to jump straight to Rick and see who we got. Rick, who you have out there?
I got the winner of Cast 2 standing here, and it's No Gamble Man Among Boys. What a name that is. We'll have to get to that to figure out how that came about. Handled by Jeremiah Roller. All of you remember Jeremiah Roller being in the finals last year. And Jeremiah co-owns this dog. How your hunt went tonight?
He got struck for 100 and treed a coon in there by itself. Another dog got treed but left its tree and then ended up treeing a coon. And then another dog made a den tree and had a few other den trees in there. And then I treed man at the end.
Cast out there.
Yeah, it was rough.
Rough where you were hunting?
Dry and rough.
Yeah. Some of the guys are coming in saying it's been bad dry. And I know we haven't had a rain here in probably 10 days.
Yeah, there wasn't much water.
Yeah. So what zone did you guys come from?
Zone 4.
Which was Sedalia?
Sedalia, yep.
Sedalia?
Yep.
All right. And your co-pilot on the way out here was Isaiah.
Yes, sir.
And I just talked to him a few minutes ago. He was a cast winner. So there's two of you right there from right there around home that won. Tell us a little bit about this dog's style.
He's a little different, and he's not like the one I hunted last year. Man trails coons up, trees them. He's more of a he ain't going to sink through the country, every time. He'll tree and coon right beside you if there's one there.
He ain't going to pass no tracks up,
Nope.
I'm guessing?
Nope.
And what's his bloodline?
His mom is last year's world champion, Get Gone.
Good Lord, this is crazy how this is all coming about. So you're in the finals last year. Jenna wins the world hunt last year, and this dog's out of it. And they bred her to...
He's out of Hunter.
Out of Hunter, okay.
Wipeout Hunter.
Wipeout Hunter, yep. I remember they're talking about that.
Yep.
So, old hat to you, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll finish better this year.
Yeah, no doubt. It's always heartbreaking not to win it when you get as close as you did last year. But, man, here you are right back again with a different dog. It says a little bit about you, Jeremiah. I mean, it says a little bit about you being able to turn around and come back. So the dog you hunted last year, Sleepy, you guys sold him or something?
sold him about 3 weeks ago.
Okay. All right. Well, we're going to gather back here tomorrow night about 5 o'clock or so. Okay. And we look forward to seeing you then. Congratulations.
Yes, thank you.
There you go, guys.
All right.
Another familiar face.
Yes, it is. And a couple things there. He's a year-old dog, so we've talked about that tonight. I think we've seen at least one other cast win of a year-old. But before we break this card down, I really hope Trevor and Alan talk to whoever is this guide coordinator for this hunt, because we hear about these rough places, and that's actually a joke because Rick was the guide coordinator, has done a great job there. So tell us a little bit on this cast real quick.
Well, what it looks like to me, they scored on 2 coons, and both of them, both the ones that scored on a coon pulled a little bit of, had a bad break. It looks to me like there's that was really basically the difference.
Yeah.
And, it happens. It just 5 minus, the dog that was struck for 100, wins the cast. Yeah. And but really what stands out to me is here again we have another dog that's out of a world champion. You heard what he shared there. This dog's out of last year's world champion, Jenna, and Hunter has reproduced a lot of good ones. But I know now, just thinking on top of my head, is you have Biffy Sue, the 2016 world champion, the 2014 world champion, and Lila. Now you have Jenna, and I believe there was one other one That may be 4, and we're not talking about Willie as well, you know. So that's really impressive. This is really impressive on that side of it.
So we're probably seeing that there's some guys really know what they're doing in these breeding programs now. I mean, this is not just by chance anymore. They're really strategically doing these things, and they're starting to pay off. And
absolutely.
So, yeah, we've already got another cast win in. So, Rick, who you got?
I got cast 24 winner, and it's Mallard Roost Iceman, owned by Jeff Cole and Lucas Barkman. And Lucas was a handler tonight. And Lucas, tell me a little bit about your dog here. I've been seeing you guys knocking on the door off and on with this dog and not quite getting to the home run stage, but here we are tonight. You won the first round. Tell us a little bit about your dog.
He just...
All right. And you scored 575 tonight. Looks like he done a little more than just treeing a coon or two.
He treed 3 coons and 1 den tree.
Describe the hunting territory you were in tonight.
It was big timber. We just kept on recutting and had a couple swamps in it, bean fields.
Similar to what you guys have at home, I'm assuming?
Yep.
So what's this dog out of?
He's out of an old dog that we raised from a puppy, and a female from Maryland, Joe Zinn owns.
Okay. All right.
And that 6 or 7 nights a week.
2 or 3 hours a night, or 7 or 8 hours a night?
It depends on if I'm working or not.
Okay. All right.
From puppy, we bred the female. Joe Zinn loaned her to us to breed our Roger dog at home.
And this one's out of Roger then?
Yeah.
Okay.
And we had a pup off of Joe's female that got coonhound paralysis, and he was a real nice pup. So then he loaned her to us to raise a litter of pups, and so we got him off that litter, and so we started him, raised him, started him, and he's been a pretty good young dog. We hunt him quite a bit.
So, Jeff, you're retired, right?
No, I wish I was.
I was thinking you wasn't. Much of you guys hunt, I figured you was retired. I knew Lucas probably wasn't, but much of you guys hunt, I figured you were. So, Lucas, you've won the first round of the World Hunt. How many times have you been to the World Finals?
3 or 4.
3 or 4 times? Did you win the first round before?
Once.
One other time. So, you've been here. You nervous? No?
Whatever happens, happens.
You know this dog inside and out?
Mm-hmm.
No surprises with him. All right. Jeff, you've made a pretty good choice here, partnering up and handler here. Anything you're going to do different between now and tomorrow night?
Nah, I'll probably go to the motel and sleep. We like to sleep a lot.
Looks like to me when you guys are posting on Facebook, you guys are hunting all night, and Joyce is having a big breakfast whenever you get in, and then you have to sleep till noon most days. Hey, Lucas, congratulations. Jeff, congratulations to you. We're going to be doing this all over again tomorrow night at about 5 o'clock. Don't miss it.
Sounds like a plan.
There you go, guys.
All right.
Another winner.
Well, they definitely put a score up, and as Rick, we just want you to know, if you can hear me, as we were sitting here listening to you, Steve and I voted that you're buying breakfast in the morning, so we'll let you know what time. We'll let you know. All right, Steve, tell us what you got.
Well, I mean, obviously they scored on 4 coons, and I think this dog treed 3 of them and got the big part of all 3 of them. I can tell you, having lived in northern Indiana, and that's where Jeff and Lucas are from, obviously been good friends with Jeff's wife Joyce and her dad and mom Mackie and Pam. I can tell you this is one dog here this weekend that's not underprepared, because these guys hunt 7 nights a week. I mean, honestly, for me, knowing the coon hunting realm and stuff like that, there's really only one other person that comes to my mind that would rival the way these guys hunt, and that would be Frank Giddings. You know, there's, for a lot of us, knowing Frank is obviously getting up in age, but he still hunts and hunts every night, you know, from my understanding. And these guys hunt every night. They hardly ever take off. I mean, you know, there's a lot of times that they go to a hunt, come home, and will hunt till daylight. And they hunt, you know, they hunt down around Tri-County, state land. There's coons there, but it's not cupcake hunt been hearing a lot about this Iceman dog that they have. Doesn't shock me that he won this cast. And I know this is cast, I believe this is cast 24, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, cast 24. And it's a cast, I believe I wanted to double check before I send it, before Rick reminds me of it. But I actually had picked this dog to win this cast. And simply because I knew the way that they prepare. And they've been knocking on the door a lot of years. This is, I think Lucas said it's his third or fourth time here. He's won his cast, obviously advanced one time before. And I look for them to have a legitimate shot on making a pretty deep run. They obviously beat some good dogs here.
And that's what I was going to say. Looking at the card, they had some competition on that cast. I mean, it was not a easy cast to win, and to win it in dominating fashion. That speaks volumes. So I would say we're going to see some things out of this dog. Now, we're viewers. I'm not sure if you're trying to keep count with us, but we've got 24 casts in, so we're waiting on 3 casts, 27 casts. We're waiting on 3 casts coming back. Taking a real quick look here. We have a 4 a.m. deadline, and we're at about 2:25, 2:23 right now. So still a lot of time. I mean, I'm sure most of you are thinking, oh, man, I hope it don't take to 4 o'clock, and probably all of us are hoping it's not to 4 o'clock. But we're here, and we're going to stay with you, and I hope that you stay with us. I want to point something out. I think I'm right in this, and maybe you can help me out. Let's go way back in the program. Let's go way back. One of the first tonight this is the first world hunt that's been held in a total elimination format. So what a total elimination format means is we're going to have a cast winner. So the cast winner can win with minus points, it can win with circle points. It means we're going to have a dog that advances. That's just kind of a quick synopsis of that. But we always hear in a lot of that setting is, well, we don't want to advance a dog that doesn't have plus points. There's a lot of info. You know that as well as I do. But so far, we've not advanced a dog that's not had plus points.
Right.
And so I find that interesting that even though we're in that format, that might come into play later, and we don't know what, we still got 3 cast out, but so far we've seen plus points. I just want, somebody that's got your experience, maybe I'm kind of circling you a good jump back here, but what do you think we'll see tonight? I mean, I know you probably agree we've got a good chance these coming in with plus points, but how do you think that change is going to help this hunt?
Well, from past memory, regardless if the hunt is held here or wherever, I don't recall in recent memory of the entire hunt running all the way through that there wasn't at least one cast that was dead or whatever. I can't remember quite. I think it was in was it 99? It was the second year I believe that they held the world hunt here. The year that I can't think of the name of the female that won the world hunt.
I had it, but I don't.
Yeah, but anyways, my point is there. I was actually one of the judges at that particular world hunt. And that year there was a final 3. And the reason that there was a final 3 is because we didn't have a cast winner in our cast on Friday night to advance to be able to have a final 4. Yeah. And if memory serves me correct on that, there may have been a couple of them that didn't have a cast winner with plus points. Yeah. And that's why there was a final 3. And so, looking at it from that aspect, I think that when you get this far, you've already proved to everyone that you can win a cast with plus points. Do I think we'll see it this weekend? I think it's a pretty good chance we'll have at least one cast that's going to advance.
Somewhere
throughout this hunt that's going to advance with that elimination style of event. And when you get this far, there needs to be a winner. We need to be able to declare a winner. And they've done an excellent job on putting something in place where still the best dog that particular night with that situation can advance.
Well, let's do something right here because we got a little bit.
Yes.
And did you judge the final cast?
But this was the cast before the final cast.
Okay. Do you remember any of the dogs you judged?
I do. I really do. I hate,
Take us back to that night.
I don't. It's one of the most bizarre casts I ever had, and you probably don't even know this, Jamie, but it was one of the most bizarre casts I've ever been on. We have a dog in that particular cast called. A lot of people would remember him called Hammer and Earl.
Bobby Allen.
Bobby Allen.
Yeah.
From I believe
Tennessee.
Good of a guy is that he. Matter of fact. This was '99 because he was in the he made the top 20 in '99. I judged him, and then in 2000, when I made the Final Four of the UKC World, he was in the Final Four with me with Hammer and Earl, and me and him both beat each other pretty much out of that World Hunt because we was competing so hard against each other. We'd pulled some minus on gambling because it was so nip and tuck, and that minus ended up costing me and him. But anyways, he was hunting Earl. And we was hunting around a cornfield, and Earl treed 4 coon in this cast, while these other 3 dogs are running out in the cornfield. And he has to cut them back loose because we can't call timeout. The dogs are safe, and he shoots through there and gets treed again on his 5th tree. And we walk into this, and behind this tree. And a house cat sails out over our heads out of this tree.
Wow.
That's and you just can't get out of it.
How did because the little bit of contact that I had with Bobby, he was a great guy, great guy. How did he respond? I just have a feeling he probably just handled it as a gentleman, but it had to be gut wrenching.
Had a smile on his face. Would have he turns around and makes the Final Four, and then in 2002 the dog makes the Final Four again. And that's the consistency we talked about earlier. Yeah. But that's how there ended up being a Final 3 instead of a Final 4.
Wow.
And like I said, I don't remember the other dogs that was in the cast, but I know what happened in that particular cast.
That is a. So let me ask you this: if viewers don't know this, and I'm assuming I'm right on this, is when you say junior, you're talking about Droop Junior,
that's
right?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. So how would you compare Droop Junior and Hammering Earl? How would you say those dogs being able to compete today?
Oh, they would definitely compete in today's age. Me and Bobby rivaled back and forth when we drew each other or whatever, it was different back then a little bit because things treat together a lot more. And
would they be together some?
Oh yeah, they'd be together some. They'd be split some. They was fast enough and good enough that they would change in the last 20 years. It's just our training techniques have changed because of the technology that we have and the way the hunt, really and truly the rules have helped that along too as well.
Yeah, because sometimes the rules, I think, dictate the training. Hey, we're just getting a report. We have a dog on deck. So, Rick, who do you have over there?
I got the winner of Cast 9 right now, and I'm going to call him Homer because he's a hometown guy. And it's Heat Seeker Unleash the Kraken. And everybody knows him. Handled by Trevor Hack and owned by Grant Whitmer and Trevor Hack. Trevor, tell us a little bit about.
Yeah, well, it was pretty tough tonight. He had to work pretty hard to tree the one he did tree. We made a few circle trees. Mine just made 2 trees, had a coon for 225, and then made a tree at the end with about 20 minutes left or so. It was a big old grapevine mess, just. Anyway, it was tough hunting where we were. We hunted in some pretty hilly country, and
it's dry. It's been dry. We haven't had a rain in 10 or 12 days probably.
Yes.
And but here you are, and no surprise to any of us at all. This dog, you and this dog have been on top a lot of times.
Yeah, thank you.
Tell us a little bit about his breeding now for those that don't remember.
Well, he's out of my dog Main Street Blue that I hunted for 6 years or so, and his mom is a female called Ruthless out of Pennsylvania. Jeff Fish owned his mom. She was Main Street Dino bred also, and Bruce Knopsider from. So he's Main Street bred, pretty much top and bottom. Stanley Nichols stuff, you know, sure. Asa Briggs and those guys have. And
they've kept it going. Guys like you have kept it going.
Yeah,
we don't see Stanley around much anymore. And Asa, I haven't seen him for a little bit, but tough. Both of them guys, tough competitors.
Yeah.
When we go out there and go hunting with him.
Throws, field edges, you know, he covers a lot of ground. He'll run a whole block, square it, you know. Usually makes things happen fast. It wasn't that way tonight, though. I mean, he had to work hard for the coon he treed tonight, but it just, the conditions were. I bet it was 15 degrees. Tell you get in the woods and it was like you walk up and down them hills and it's like whoo. Yes, it is. Yep.
But not the first time for you.
No, I made it with his dad also.
Okay.
Yep. A couple times. Got in the top 27 or 8, I think, in 2020 with Blue. But this is my first trip to the finals of Kraken.
And that.
15 to hunt.
About it. I mean, don't know where we're going to draw.
Absolutely.
Wouldn't you love to guide yourself when you live this close, but it just doesn't work out that way.
Yeah. No, I understand that too.
Yeah.
I'm thankful that Travis, you know, Holbrook donated his time to come out here and judge and guide for us.
Yep. Hey, we're going to do this again tomorrow night about 5 o'clock.
Okay.
Need you back here then, and
excellent.
We'll draw the cast out and head you guys back out.
Okay.
I want to congratulate you on your win, man. And
yep, thanks a lot.
Good luck to you the rest of the weekend.
Appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you.
There you go.
All
Hometown
right.
favorite right there.
All right, a hometown favorite. Now, I have to say something about Kraken. The way Trevor explained him, he came out of my zone in Pennsylvania, double cast winner, single coon cast win on Friday night, if I'm not mistaken, but then on Saturday night, put a show on. Had 775 on Saturday night. But I remember talking, I don't remember if it was Trevor or the guide on that cast or the judge or somebody on the cast. Trevor explained him perfect. He got on a fence row and they said he'd treat, I think it was 4 coons working that whole field edge. And I think one tree was maybe just 50 yards apart. He treated and then popped another one. And so very much explained the dog, but now we see the consistency in the dog that he had to work for this one tonight. And so just tell us what you see.
Well, you heard what he said. I mean, it was a little rough to score trees where they was at, that kind of thing. And again, there was 2 coons scored. He scored on one, and another dog scored on one, and the other dog obviously was struck for less. So yeah. I mean, it comes down to having the right set of strike points in order to wrap up that cast win. Obviously, had a tough cast. I know a few of them dogs that was in there, and I can tell you from experience, when the World Hunt was held in Columbia City, Indiana, that's the year I made the Final Four. And, on what he was sharing with, even though he lives 10 minutes from here, they drove an hour to hunt or whatever it was to go hunt.
So it really took out the home field advantage, if anything.
But here's what I'm going to share with you. Kudos to United Kennel Club and the guides and judges or whatever. This truly is a draw. And, the guides go in a bucket, the judges go in a bucket, and they draw them to the cards. That's right. And, he could have hunted. We know there's cast 110 minutes from here. And so he drove an hour from home. Now, don't get me wrong, the dog is used to hunting in this country. And I can tell you, a little break here. wrap this deal up.
And probably with you saying that, just made me think, I mean, you know, he lives 10 minutes from here, drove, what do you say, an hour and a half? That could have been possibly our furthest cast.
Yeah, probably.
Very good chance.
Yeah, very good chance.
Very good. So a 10-minute home guy has to drive the furthest, and that's
it
pretty.
Happens.
Yeah,
it happens. And but here's what I will share: when you talk about the home field advantage, because as many people know, we rotate this world hunt throughout a bunch of. You know, we was in Tennessee last year. This year we're here. The home field advantage for them particular type of situation comes right now. He gets to go home, put that dog in his own kennels.
What we talked about, routine.
The routine.
That's
this
right.
is just another deal for him. So that is going to be a home field advantage on that side of it. And I truly believe that does. But you know what? Most of these competitors have a world hunt that's within an hour or two at some point as it rotates around.
And that's just that's part of what we do. Is somebody's always going to have to put gas in the vehicle and drive. I mean, everybody can't have it in their back door every
100%.
year.
I will tell you this, talking of the year that I ended up making the Final Four, I remember on Friday night not going back home, even though I lived an hour from there. And the biggest reason I didn't is because Junior, who I was hunting at the time, he loved competition. And I didn't want to go home and have him, you know, and so I knew that if I kept him away in that type of situation,
He would think he was in competition.
100%.
Yeah.
And so, you know, every dog is different, but for the most part.
Now I was writing some numbers down here. I think I'm right, and you can help me out here. We heard Trevor talk about Main Street. That's a common name.
Mm-hmm.
We know that in and especially in the competition world of English dogs. Main Street, Asa Briggs, and all that. I think, if I'm not mistaken, we've had 3 English cast winners. I think we have the young dog, Roy, and now Kraken.
I believe
and
so.
then 1 red bone.
That's correct.
And then I think everything else is Walker so
I believe
far.
so, yeah.
We're sitting on 2, waiting, and so guys, you've been with us this far. Just fill up your coffee cup and stay with us. I mean, don't go to bed on us now. Stay with us. We're going to get these 2 cast in hopefully soon, so that we can see who all of our 27 are that is advancing. But right now we're still staying true to the all cast coming in with plus points, which is very cool, especially being tonight on the first time the round of the total elimination format. Quick question tonight, is we're kind of at a moment where we're waiting. This is a very opinionated question I'm going to ask you, but just to see your thoughts on it. I would have some thoughts on it, but if you could pick one place tonight that the next year's World Hunt is going to be, where would you pick? Where would be your mecca place to hold a Coonhound World Championship?
Well, for the United States, obviously, I would have to go with. I love Northern Missouri. That's just me. I think there's up around the La Plata Club and that kind of area up through there. There's so many different styles of terrain there. You know, that you can hunt or whatever, and I enjoy hunting up there. You know,
I would have never realized. I would have not thought.
Well, and the reason I say that for is because it's big enough, and there's still enough rural country left there. I think it's one of the safer places to hunt. You know, one of the safer places to hunt, and not that it's not safe here or even Charlie Brown.
But it can hold the dogs. It
can hold the dogs, kind of thing, and it can give them. It can open up. You know, there's still plenty of game there to score on. I would. Area is also really good, cool. You know, so absolutely.
Cast win back with us. They're finishing this thing up. I think this would be the 26th cast win back. So, Rick, who do you have?
I got the winner here at Cast 18. It's Flat Rock Cash App, and this dog is handled by Stephen Lab this evening and owned by Nick Brady. And I'm seeing that they scored 450 plus. Stephen, tell us a little bit about your cast tonight.
It started out pretty rough. He got out in the soybean field for the greater part of the first part of the cast, and he ended up treeing a coon for 150. And I was down pretty, and one dog had 200, and we ended up calling timeout and going to a different place, and there was 52 minutes left when we got there, and we cut the dog's chain, and Enos struck for 75, and I treed for. That was pretty. I don't know, he got to trailing and messing around. The other dogs made some circle trees, and none of them ever did tree a coon. Well, it come to the end, and Josie, the dog named Josie Wills, was winning the cast, and the only way I could beat him, there was about 5 minutes left, the only way I could beat him is if we got in there and he had a slick and I got Enos treed before the end of the hunt. And walking to Josie, I heard Enos come treed behind us about a mile or so and treed him and went into Josie Wells, and he had a slick tree and went to Enos and he had a coon.
So how long have you been hunting this dog? I know it hasn't been too long.
About 10 days.
About 10 days?
Yeah.
So
yeah, maybe, whatever, yeah.
How all the practice and all the preparation and things like that. They handed you a dog 10 days ago, and here you are, first round winner.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
do you know about his bloodline?
Yeah, I had his brother, his littermate brother, a dog I called Happy Feet, that died over the winter. And he comes from a good litter. His brother's a PKC World Champion, Flat Rock Legs. That was that litter. They're pretty good. Get a pretty good of the zone. Chest.
He seems like he was a little tender-footed just walking around in here on the ground here tonight.
Yeah.
But, so anyway, Nick's probably on his way up.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Well, Stephen, we're going to do this again tomorrow night about 5 o'clock.
All righty.
We'll see you guys back here.
Thank you.
All right. There you go, guys.
All right.
World hunt.
You just were waiting for that moment to contradict us. We know that, but you know, you're able to do that. Remembered that Cash App is a full mate to a dog that I own as well. I think my dog that I finished is a mate to them. I'm not sure exactly. He's from one of the Burden's crosses there, and I think maybe there's another one, but I think so. So tell us what you see.
They scored on 7 raccoons, and you know, looking at this card. You heard what he said. I guess that, you know, one of the basically a dog had to get minus and him have a coon at the very end to win, and that it happens very rarely. You know what I'm saying? Especially this time of the year, it just happens very rarely. And you know, hey, it looks to me like this was a competitive cast all the way through.
Yeah, because he won on tiebreaker.
Yeah, he won on the tiebreaker. It looks to me like any of the dogs could have won at any
That's
time.
right.
You know, so, and again, hey. This Cash App dog has been in the winner's circle for has been in the winner's circle for a lot of days.
That's right.
Or a lot of times.
That's
so,
right.
He's a good one.
Well, guys, that stayed with us the whole time. The last to us now from Rick, so we're glad to have you. We're gonna go to Rick. What do you got?
I got the last one in, and it's none other than Jacob Bigham with Big Time T-Bone, and T-Bone, he's owned by Jacob and Autumn. That's your wife then, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
And Nick Snodgrass. So who's in charge of this dog, Jacob? Is it?
No, me and Nick.
Oh, okay.
Autumn does all the other stuff with him.
Okay. All right. Very good. Jacob, tell us a little bit about your hunt tonight.
Right out of the truck, we got in there, got split. I had a coon, they had a den. Mine ended up getting way out of pocket. They ended up calling timeout, moving spots, treat a couple more dens, but we treat a bunch of circle trees.
A little bit of a slow hunt. I've seen the scores tonight. We've been up here and we've been down here.
I bred him. I bred the litter. I've had him since he was a baby. Me and my dad spent a lot of nights sitting in our Ranger listening to him.
Yeah.
And then I just kept hunting him, and when we started training, I started knocking coon out to him, and they got it fixed.
So you guys' partner, Derek, he won the first round tonight with the red dog.
Yeah, Devin.
Devin,
Yep,
He won the first round with the red dog tonight.
Yep.
And so you guys have done all right here. Don't sound like Jack done any good tonight.
No, he didn't do no good.
Yeah,
Nope.
well, he's too old anyway. What the heck? So how many times have you been where you're standing at right now?
I've never won an early round at the World Hunt. This is the first time.
First time.
Yep.
3 rounds away from being a world champion.
Yeah, I hope so.
With a dog the first year and a half of his life didn't treat.
Yep.
That is crazy. That's
Yep.
a crazy story. We're going to do this again tomorrow night at 5 o'clock.
Okay.
Want to see you back in here then.
All righty.
Bring Dad with you.
All right.
All right, Jacob. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Proud for you, man. There you go. There you go, guys. It's our last cast winner of the night.
It's the last one in, and looking at this card, I'm sure the most important information on that for Jacob is that CW. I would say that's the most important. Anything you see there before we wrap this up?
He's got the better part of a coon, and then kept his nose clean. And ultimately, in the end, that's what won the cast for him.
That's it.
Absolutely.
Well, hey, I want to say to our viewers tonight, I hope that you've enjoyed tonight as much as I've enjoyed tonight. Just being able to do this, we've got a great group of guys that have brought the cast wins back. 27 cast winners will be ready for round 2 tomorrow night. We will not have the live coverage tomorrow night. We will be back with you Saturday night at 8:30. We want you here. I'll be here as your host. I'm Jamie Eastep. I'll be with Steve Burkholder again. Rick will be with us on the panel, sitting at the stage. The fan favorite, the famous one of Mount Gilead will be here, Rick Stretch. And we want you to be back with us. Tell your friends about us, and we want them to be here. We also want to say thank you to all of UKC's national sponsors. They're great folks. They're great sponsors. That is the Eukanuba Dog Food and the Dogtra Systems. And go out and support those that support us. Also, again, thank you to the hunters and the landowners, the guides of the Mount Gilead Club. We appreciate you. Thank you for everything that you've done. And until Saturday night, the next time, I'm Jamie Eastep, Steve Burkholder, and on behalf of the United Kennel Club, thank you for being with us, and I hope that you've enjoyed tonight. The United Kennel Club's Coonhound World Championship has been brought to you by our performance dog nutrition partner, Eukanuba. Fuel up, train hard, and get after it. And by our GPS collar partner of UKC, Dogtra. Make every dog exceptional.
Check out the United Kennel Club online store for all of our magazine subscriptions and UKC merchandise. Go to shop.ukcdogs.com and you'll find all the best gear to support your UKC lifestyle. Snag a new hat, hoodie, or t-shirt and subscribe to our many publications, including our world-leading coonhound publication, Coonhound Bloodlines. We even have research pedigrees and rule books available to purchase. Why wait? Shop now.
They're partners, ready to do whatever it takes. Athletes that pound for pound can outrun, outwork, and outperform anybody you're watching on Sunday. No contract required. You don't waste that kind of potential. You train it, fuel it, unleash it. You feed nutrition that holds nothing back. The Eukanuba Premium Performance Lineup.
Guess what? We have a podcast. The all-new United Kennel Club podcast will not only feature great guests living the sporting dog life, but also rules and sport updates. Tune into the Hunting Ops podcasts with Ellen Gingrich and Trevor Wade to hear the latest Coonhound rules and updates, Beagle rules and updates, and all breaking news about UKC Hunting Ops programs. Hear it right here first. Subscribe on YouTube so you don't miss out.
UKC celebrates 125 years in 2023. For a limited time, honor the history and legacy of your dog's line with the all-new 3-generation Heritage Display Pedigree. The Heritage Display Pedigree pays homage to UKC pedigrees of old with elegant modern touches. These pedigrees are meant to be framed, cherished, and passed down from generation to generation. Whether you have a highly recognized dog or simply want to pay tribute to that special dog from years ago, the Heritage Display Pedigree helps celebrate and recognize those who left their mark. My hope is that my kids and future grandkids have this pedigree tucked away somewhere long after I'm gone. Get your Heritage Display Pedigree at shop.ukcdogs.com.